Mike is muted. All right. I think you have to unmute your mic. Try that.
Oh.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
There we go.
Everybody here is okay? Mike is muted.
Oh, I think we're good to go now. Yeah.
I'm getting some sort of. I think you have to unmute your mic. Try that.
Oh.
I got What's up, guys? Start again.
Yeah, let's
we had
do it.
YouTube in the back.
Third time's the charm.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Does it sound good? The sound should be great. And we got everything ready to go. Kyle Henderson here along with Trey Yanity, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tonight, the Alabama Crimson Tide take on their heated rival, the LSU Tigers. And Alabama, nearly 30-point favorite. Trey, I mean, the game's about to kick off. Hey, look, if you're new to the watch party, the game's on CBS. So go watch the game. We'll be on, kind of bouncing in and out. That's kind of how the watch party works. It's a celebration. We're celebrating the college football season. And, I'm here with Trey as we usually are on Saturdays. Trey, nearly 30 points. Saban just said basically at the beginning of the broadcast at CBS, they're going to drop the hammer on LSU.
Yeah, I mean, this one's personal. We've been talking about this game for quite some time. It was canceled back Masters weekend there in November, rescheduled, after some controversy. Didn't know if this one was going to be played, and we get it here in December. How about that? Alabama, LSU in December. Thank you guys for being with us here tonight. Thanks for all the comments. Get in there, chat it up. We'll be in and out like Kyle said. Celebrate some football, some December regular season football. It's just crazy. We got another game after this, Arkansas next week, but this is going to be a good one. 29 points is a lot, but I think that's fair for this game. Alabama is going to come into this one, with a pretty fresh memory of last year's LSU-Alabama game. We've played the clip over and over again on our tailgate show, on this show as well. Monday Night Quarterback. You guys have seen it. This one means a lot for Alabama. I think they're going to get out there. I think the offense is going to continue to roll. Florida just locked up the SEC East against Tennessee earlier today. Alabama has a chance to do so tonight. So there's still something to play for here in this one. LSU is not what they were a season ago. There's no doubt about that. No Jamar Chase, no Joe Burrow. So many pieces on both sides of the ball for this team and coaches, and everything is different about this LSU team. Alabama, is ready to take on the Fighting Ed Orgerons and get a big win tonight. What's your score prediction for this one? I had to miss the tailgate show last night. I didn't get the chance to hear it.
I don't even know if I put a score prediction, but I definitely think they're going to cover that spread of 30 points.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking maybe like a 52-6 or something like that. I think Nick Saban will lay it on heavy tonight. And what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us inside the comment box. Game is about to kick on CBS, so you can tune to your broadcast. You can kind of come back with us, whatever. It's all good. This is just a celebration. And remember, after the watch party is the post game show. We'll take some calls tonight. We'll do SEC After Dark, and we'll have John behind the glass, and we'll have a good time with it right here on BamaInsider.com. There's a lot to go over from the day of college football today. Clemson and Virginia Tech about to kick right now. You guys watching that Coastal Carolina and BYU game? We were watching that in the background. I mean, it's pretty interesting to see that those two teams kind of just paired up and started playing each other. Coastal Carolina, that would be a nightmare to prepare for that offense, within, just a couple of weeks. A lot of people saying Brandy's like Florida's overrated. What's kind of your reaction on that? You think?
Yeah. This is a tough one because Florida's offense is so dynamic. You have so many different tools. I mean, you looked at today, Tony had one of the games of his life like he does every week. And then you got Kyle Pitts, who's probably the best player on that team. And then Kyle Trask, who's the Heisman, you could say front runner even at this point. So it's such a deadly offense. It's hard to say that they're overrated just because of what they're capable of. But I think that they're also very capable of, being susceptible to the big play on defense and having, the other team run it up on them as well. Alabama matches up, I think, well enough against Florida. When it all comes down to it, I would say, I guess, they're overrated. This is a weird year. I think Alabama's going to expose them. But, I think for the most part, Florida's a good team, and they can prove that. Hopefully they save that for a bowl game and not the SEC championship.
Shout out to Jonathan right here for serving this great country. He's currently stationed in El Paso. I believe it's Fort Bliss. I used to live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Went to school down at New Mexico State. So roll Aggies, roll. And I got a chance many times to go down to El Paso. So, I appreciate the area. And I used to fly out of that airport, Trey. I know you've never even – you've been to Albuquerque.
I've been to Albuquerque. I've been to New Mexico. I actually watched El Camino last night.
I didn't like El Camino.
I thought it was pretty good.
Jesse Pinkman, kind of like
it's his story.
If anyone's seen Breaking Bad, you know what we're talking about. Yeah, my wife and I, we watched El Camino. It was okay. Yeah. I just they were hyping it up so much. And I get it. I mean, it was kind of like, what happened after the Jesse Pinkman. It was a good ending for him, I
It's
guess.
a good spinoff. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good.
From us. So Alabama and LSU about to kick here at 7:05. That's actual time. It's, they have Cam knows what we're talking about. Crystal,
Cam's on it.
Yeah. Crystal, what do they call it? They called it the
Chris. I think it was just Crystal for most of the show.
Yeah.
But
wasn't there like a specific word for the crystal?
We
are talking about crystal on the show.
I think there was something for it.
No, Mike was right. What about how fat Todd was?
Oh my goodness, I know. Todd was all over the movie too.
He was the major component.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the one thing that stood out. I was like, man, they should have really, because they tried to go back right after it ended.
Yeah.
And Todd, how could he have put on 100 pounds
That's
after Walter White? Yeah. I don't know.
Some plot holes here we're picking through. But some listeners in El Paso tonight. We got DB Sparks coming in from Taylorsville, Kentucky.
Oh,
Thanks
nice.
for being here all over the country.
Bourbon country.
So we got Mexico City on the line.
Yeah,
too.
Mexico City down in Mexico City. I've always wanted to go visit Mexico City. My mom's been out there a couple times. She's had an amazing time. So hopefully if the world gets back on track, we can start to do some things we love. I personally love to travel. So if I'm not covering college football, you'll find me traveling, all over. I love to go all over. But now you find me here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Oddly enough, I started out my career back in New Mexico. And then from New Mexico, I went to live in Washington, D.C., worked on Capitol Hill for a while. It was amazing. I used to give tours of the U.S. Capitol.
No way.
Yeah, it was amazing. What? So constituents would fly
this.
out from New Mexico, and I would take them all around the U.S. Capitol. It was pretty cool. Same. And then from there, I started doing an internship in Los Angeles. And so I would go back to New Mexico, and then I would go to Los Angeles, took a full-time job. But before that, I actually went to school out in Iowa as well.
Oh, what?
I went to I know. I went to Central College. Yeah, I went to Central College. And then after that, took a full-time job in Redondo Beach, California, which is amazing. So I was like Trey's age, probably a little bit older than you. And, I was living out in Redondo Beach, living my best life. And then I started up, a high school site. And then, 10 years later, now I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, covering the Alabama Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide about to kick now against LSU. Game is on CBS. So no, we don't. If you're just watching the game, we don't stream the game. We couldn't stream the game. Those rights are to CBS, so we can't do that. But this is the watch party. So we provide our own commentary and kind of, maybe some stats that you don't quite see on the broadcast. We'll be here. We'll be in and out, and then, we'll have the watch party, throughout the show. It's a long time. So you'll see kind of just some graphics. We'll put some stats up. And then after that, we will have the post-game call-in show. You guys can call in and, give me your take on tonight's game. Huntsville. Mike, I really want to check out Huntsville. Trey, have you had an opportunity to go to Huntsville?
I've been to the area. I've been to, Coleman. I saw the Hot Air Balloon Festival.
That's cool.
I think that's one of those towns around there. I can't remember which one exactly. It's a cool area, though. It's really blowing up.
What's up, Jarvis? Good to see you, Jarvis. I know Jarvis called in today, I think, with Mick on Mick's show. And that was great. We've had Mick. He's doing double time because he does the tailgate show, and he likes those bushwhackers. And then we get him up for the morning call-in show.
It's like a rubber band. He just bounces back.
Yeah, no,
doing it all.
Yeah, Mick is good. And the revenge tour, continues over to Baton Rouge tonight. Now, get this. I mean, this was just coming in that Alabama. And I actually talked about this yesterday. Alabama will be without, I didn't actually release, I only released this on BamaInsider. I said that they will be without some assistant coaches. I mentioned that yesterday. And then today I found out that they will be without, I believe it's 3 defensive coaches and 1 offensive coach. So I don't know who the coaches that are going to step up tonight. I think Charlie Strong has been activated, and so is Mike Stoops. But the other coaches, I don't know. So we'll just kind of have to see. Maybe they'll let us know on the broadcast. But Alabama won last week with the GOAT on the recliner. Yeah. So I think they'll be in good position with him back in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, no, this team's going to be just fine. It was an Auburn team last week too. That's the Iron Bowl, and you're without your head coach, and you still get a massive win. And that's an Auburn team that looked pretty good against Texas A&M today for most of that game. They only lost by 8 points. So this team is just going to be fine. What's up, Jacob? Thanks for the shout out, man. Thank you for being here tonight. But there's definitely some things that change just with the fact that COVID-19 is still looming over this season for every team. And LSU, I think, has been hit pretty, as hard as it gets when you talk about schools in the SEC. So they're still dealing with it. Alabama, is just going to have to play how Alabama plays. They haven't allowed a point for LSU in this stadium since I think 2014 or 2015. It's been quite some time since LSU has scored on Alabama in their home stadium. So, keep an eye on that. But this one's going to be a lot of fun. I got to be honest, about a month ago, I was kind of against this game being played just because, the injury factor, how bad LSU is. This one didn't really matter. The LSU game. Yeah. I was a little skeptical to play this one, but it's here. This is so much fun every year. It's such a great rivalry. And, we have football, so got to be excited for that. Just got to hope everybody stays healthy, stays safe. And, Alabama can figure out a way to get a big win. Yeah. Just as we mentioned in shout out, what's up, Jackie? We see you. We actually got S. Jacob B. I think S. Jacob B is out actually in Albuquerque. Oh, really? Yeah. So we have a couple of Albuquerque followers on here. So we got our West Coast piece. But there it is. Getting back to Alabama, I think Nick Saban before the broadcast talked about the fact that he felt that LSU feels that they can play with Alabama just because they beat Alabama last year. And he's like, we want to change that. And I think when you're looking from Nick Saban's perspective, you don't even have to talk about the revenge factor too many times because let's face it, not a lot of teams beat Alabama on a consistent basis. Now, last year was a little bit of an anomaly with that, just how good that LSU team was, but to kind of see the trajectory of their program, and it's been really amazing. I mean, I never would have thought, if you fast forward this year, that we would be, a nearly a 30-point favorite. Now I get a lot of players have left, like Trey was saying, a lot of coaches have left from LSU, but that always happens with Alabama, right? You always have guys. I mean, look at these guys who just left this last year: Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Tua Tagovailoa. The year before that, Josh Jacobs. I mean, we can go on and on, right? The year before that, Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, there's so many guys, so many coaches as well. But Alabama, what sets them apart is the fact that they're so consistent. What's up, Waylon? We see you down in the comment box. We appreciate you coming in. Gail, what's up? We appreciate you joining us tonight. We see everybody checked in. Remember, the game is on CBS, so by all means, don't feel like you have to watch the watch party the whole time. We're going to be here. You enjoy yourselves. You do what you do on your game day. Have us on in the background. We'll put some stats on. I'll put the halftime stats, and we'll come on. We'll kind of open the game for you if you're new to the watch party, and then we'll kind of put a graphic up. We'll put some stats, and then we'll come back probably like in the red zone, or if there's any type of plays that happen. I mean, as you would imagine, I mean, it's hard to talk for 3.5 hours for these games, especially because I have the post-game show after that. So I'd be talking for like 5 hours. Got to save the vocal cords a little bit. Got to save them a little bit. And tomorrow, of course, we'll have great content as well. I'll do an observation video, kind of what we learned, and that'll be posted probably around 10 or 11, depending, how soon I can get to bed. And then we'll have Mick, your guy Mick, back on the show Sunday night, taking your calls for, to prep what we learned from this game, and also kind of turning the page to Arkansas and really turning the page to the SEC championship. Were you surprised that the SEC really wants Alabama to play Arkansas? I mean, it's all about money. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's another check for the league, and it's unfortunate. If there's certain players that don't want to be a part of this, Alabama's focused on one game. As much as they don't want to recognize that, to an extent, this program is looking ahead because you have to. You're playing a very good Florida team in a couple of weeks. A Florida team that doesn't have much of a run game, but a Florida team that is going to give you troubles if you let their offense do what they want. So you're preparing for that already. It's hard to think that Alabama is going to be playing 2 regular season games in December before the SEC title. But at the end of the day, I mentioned it before. You're going to hear it a lot on the broadcast tonight, too. I'm sure just got to make sure these guys stay healthy. That is the last thing you need. You look back to that Tennessee game, a team that Alabama steamrolled, never had a doubt in that game, pregame, during the game. But you leave that game feeling ill because one of your best players, maybe your best receiver, is out for the season. So, you just can't have that in a game like this today, and in an Arkansas game that we'll see next week. If you avoid that, you're feeling good. This is the revenge tour, like we talked about. This is a big one for Alabama. They just ran out into the fields. Nick Saban, defeated COVID, and now he's back, leading out the team. And there were some people back on BamaInsider, and they were worried. They're like, some assistants aren't going to be out there. They're real nervous, and I was like, Nick Saban is back out there. He's fine. Yeah, I mean, if this team can win handedly against Auburn without Nick Saban,
they can definitely take care of LSU, without a few assistant coaches. And that's not taken away from anybody. I just think that the program is just in such a fine tuning mode that, their eyes on the prize.
Oh yeah.
The national championship. I mean,
it's, I don't think that coaches with this team, even make that much of a difference. That's a crazy statement. But this team is just that good. There's so many tools. There's so many different playmakers, and they're just so talented and so smart. They're such smart football players. That's what makes this team different. That's what makes this program different is, the discipline aspect and just the knowledge of the game that is taught here. They could probably all coach themselves if they had to. But, it definitely is comforting to have the head ball coach back on the sideline for this one.
All right. And here we go. We're about to get kicked away here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to this stadium a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was an awesome experience. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. And QQQ, I see you in the comment box asking about which coaches. They showed Charlie Strong up in the press box. I mentioned that 3 defensive coaches are going to be out and 1 offensive coach. I don't know which coaches. Maybe we'll find out either at the end of the program or at the end of the game. But if anyone hears it on the broadcast too, you can go ahead and pipe it in the comment box. But Alabama to get the ball first, and away we go right here on the Bama Insider Watch Party. Remember, the game is on CBS. We're not broadcasting the game. Don't feel like we're trying to keep you here the whole time. I mean, you guys can bounce in and bounce out. We're going to be watching the entire game anyway. So here we go. And Alabama will get the ball first.
You see Brian Robinson in the back of the end zone.
I don't really like that.
Return that. I don't know if I do either. Do
you guys like Brian Robinson returning kicks? Look, I'm a big Brian Robinson fan. I like what he creates value for himself because he's a hard runner. And people are going to focus on, maybe a couple of times that he hasn't performed to the highest level. Look, all these guys perform at different levels, but Brian Robinson, in my opinion, is a guy who's just, third and short. Maybe he comes in, gives Najee a blow, runs hard. But I don't like him returning kicks.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, just looks like it's right. I like Devontae Smith returning kicks, but it also makes me very nervous. So I guess you're picking between 2 solid options, but Robinson gets the call there, and Devontae Smith gets the call here on the first play.
And Perry is saying right here, Kyle Scott and Roach are out. It makes sense. I mean, and I think there might be there might be another guy on the support staff. So we'll try to figure out who those coaches are. But, Nick Saban's back. That's kind of the main storyline in Alabama with the football right now. And we'll see what they can do. Hey, Kimberly, thanks for watching. We appreciate you joining us. Joshua, appreciate you coming to us. And Alabama picks up the nice first down with a beautiful run by Nigel Harris.
Look at that spin move. Yeah. There's so many different tools. We talk about it every week. The way this guy can hurdle, spin, juke, the open field speed, just the lateral quickness, everything about Najee Harris is 5-star. And, it's sad to think that this is his second to last game with the Crimson Tide in the regular season.
No, don't. I mean, he's got some time though.
He's got some time.
And he's inching towards some impressive records.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he can surpass Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram. Most career yardage. He's not too far from that. Boom. Oh my goodness. Devontae Smith just got lit. Did you see that? He flew into the air.
I saw him on the ground. I didn't see the hit quite yet. Here's the replay. I saw him sitting on the turf. Oof, man.
Oh man. Okay.
Look at that. The untucked jersey.
Good thing Devontae's made of iron.
Yeah.
Did you see Alabama football is calling him the Slim Reaper?
Is that right?
Because I know somebody who called him, the Golden Gazelle. But the Slim Reaper, I don't know. It's pretty good. Oh, Perry with a good update. Perry, if you can keep us updated, maybe you too, Trey.
Oh yeah, let me.
At Coastal Carolina, we can get some updates.
The feet up here. Get your scoreboard on the bottom.
Are they saying that's a? Is that a helmet? No
way.
I don't know.
It's very physical play, but
so they're looking at. Wow.
I guess it's going to come down. Did he lead with his head there?
I don't think so. Right? I mean,
I don't think. Yeah,
look, we're calling Alabama, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it's targeting. I thought he just got blown up.
Yeah, I think it was just a pretty big hit.
Yeah, me too. Like Joshua was saying, I think it was just a good hit. I would say that. I don't think that was. I mean, of course, LSU is probably going to be deliberate at some point. I remember last time I was there, I felt that they were really going after Tua's leg.
Yeah,
neat.
I mean,
I'm serious.
It's a different kind of culture.
But I think in this particular case, I think it was clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This time around. But that's a good point. This has been a very heated rivalry, and all kinds of crazy madness happens every single year. It's personal, and you can't rule out anything in this one.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. That was just a clean hit.
Yeah,
I didn't feel that was targeting. I mean, we'll call it as it is. I mean, it might have been close. So, I mean, glad they looked at it, but basically Devontae Smith just got blown up. He's fine. I mean, this is football. All right, let's go. Mac Jones again, another handoff right there to Najee Harris. LSU, you can see that they're like LSU's probably been, they're the biggest underdogs, this whole weekend of any marquee game. So you can see they're coming out with a little bit of intensity.
Oh yeah, and I mean, this is one of those games that you're not even thinking about. I think the fact that what saves Alabama is the fact that you're playing, a team in gold and purple today, a team that you hate viciously, because you're just not, you don't care about this game if you're Alabama. This game means nothing to your resume. It really can only give your players a chance to get hurt. There's not many wins other than the moral victories in this game. So you just got to keep that as a motivator in this one. But
I think for them too, though, is the fact that, LSU, they don't like Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama don't like them. And I think Alabama, and the thing for LSU, they're on a commercial break right now, everyone. The thing is, LSU, if they can have an opportunity to ruin Alabama's season, I mean, that would be like winning a national championship for them.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean,
certainly.
So and every time anybody plays Alabama, that's kind of what's at stake. I mean, because you look at Arkansas is going to go in the same mentality. Let's ruin these guys' season.
Oh, yeah.
And, does anyone have an update on that? Can we get someone to be the official updater on the Coastal Carolina?
Yeah, let me get on it.
Maybe just have that like on another tab.
We can bounce around. Coastal's up 22-17. They have the football on the BYU 36, 11:27 to go in the fourth.
Can you add just the update in the comment box?
Yeah.
We'll just post it.
Yeah, we'll throw that on there. Clemson, too, is only up by 3 points, 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. They might have just scored again, though.
Did you see that? I know the Notre Dame fans are very passionate. And thanks for everybody who's just checking in. This is a watch party. The game's on CBS, so watch the game. And that pizza looks good right there from Little Caesars, I have to say. But the game is on CBS, so go watch the game on CBS. And we're here. We'll be providing stats. We'll be providing some commentary. 0-0 Alabama with the football right now, trying to drive down the field. There is a TV timeout right now. So, that's kind of what's going on. We got Trey posting some updates. 22-17 Coastal Carolina up on BYU with 11 minutes left. And then you also had Notre Dame today. They beat Syracuse. Yeah. But did you see in that first quarter?
Interesting game.
Syracuse was beating Notre Dame 7-3. Those are the things that, like, Notre Dame, their fans are so passionate. Look, I'm not a Notre Dame hater. I don't want people to think that I don't like Notre Dame, because I have an uncle who loves Notre Dame, right? I went to Catholic high school. Notre Dame was like the school. I get it, okay? But the thing is, when we're talking about their football program, I just don't think that they're at the level of Alabama. No, look, that's not a shot. That's just, it's facts, in my opinion. This team, Alabama, and I know they beat Clemson, but I'm still not sold because they beat them without Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and that game, it's tough, because that conversation has got to be so frustrating for Notre Dame fans, because that's a Clemson team, who was still very healthy around Trevor Lawrence and looked good in that game, and had a quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei who threw for 350 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns. So that's a tough one. But I'm with you. I don't think it validates it still. I think Notre Dame's a step behind. They have to do something else. Beat Clemson a second time. You proved it. But got to see that.
Mike, look, I like your takes, man, but Coastal versus Alabama, I don't know. But what is very difficult is to stop an option offense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, remember I think it was a Citadel a couple of years ago, came to Brian Denny. And they were nearly beating Alabama at halftime, just because it's so hard, because you don't see a lot of options.
And you just take so much time off the clock, too, with it.
All right, here are the Crimson side.
Looks like we might have deep play number 1 in the game.
Mac Jones doing his thing. John Mechie and Alabama now in the red zone. Now you're watching BamaInsider inside the red zone.
Here we go. Taking 2:30 to get down to this point. Pretty efficient so far.
John Mechie's just so solid.
He is.
He's just,
so fundamental.
Najee doing his thing. Would you? How about this? Would you consider John Mechie? I mean, I know he's not a bigger wide receiver, and sometimes bigger wide receivers that don't have the overall speed get lumped into a possession wide receiver.
Yeah.
Would you consider John Mechie a possession wide receiver, or do you think he's kind of got that game breaker ability?
I think he has it in him. And,
Yeah.
it's tough in this offense when you have to play behind
Yeah.
Devontae Smith
Sure,
and
sure.
Jalen Waddle up till a certain point. But, I think it's a little bit of both. I think he has the tools to be a game breaker type player. But, in this offense, it's been beautiful to see him just,
There we go.
get his few catches, and there it is.
Just like that. Alabama
Man.
with a touchdown to open up the opening drive of the game. It was a 7-play, 75-yard drive. Let's update the scoreboard. It lasted 3 minutes and 4 seconds. And just like that, the Alabama Crimson Tide are leading the LSU Tigers with 11:56 in the first quarter. Nigel Harris doing what he does, score touchdowns, 18 touchdowns on the year. This offensive line,
Man,
Trey. Before we talk about Najee Harris, can we talk about the offensive line?
They do not get enough credit, Kyle. We can't talk about this offensive line enough. All the way around, they've been beautiful in protecting the pass, obviously creating holes for Nigel Harris all season long, doing it there. It really, at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to, trust. There's so much trust in this offense all the way around. You see the big plays setting up, the run there, and just a few plays that Alabama's been able to execute successfully all season long, continuing to work early in this game, early and often. That's a strategy here. Alabama gets the opening kick and takes it downfield and scores. I think I kind of like, at the beginning of the season, I was a little skeptical when Alabama received the opening kickoff. I think this is the kind of team where, they're just going to score so many points. Getting the football first, getting, the tempo set with a score early in the game is big for this team, and they showed it again there.
Najee Harris on that drive, 4 rushes, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. I believe that is his 18th touchdown of the season. Mac Jones was 3 of 3 on that drive for 37 yards. Devontae Smith, 2 receptions, 13 yards. John Mechie, 1 reception for 24 yards, targeted 1 time. Alabama leading LSU 7-0 in the first quarter. We'll be right back right here on BamaInsider.com. But first, we want to say thank you to Brett for the super chat.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All super chats, greatly appreciated. There's a lot of moving parts here at Bama Insider. So the super chats go a long way. So do the thumbs up. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us, for all of our content right here on Bama Insider. But we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back as Alabama is leading the LSU Tigers 7-0 with 11:56 in the first quarter. We'll be right back on Bama Insider. All right, what's good, fam? We're back right here on Bama Insider. Had to change. I told Trey I like the shirt that I had on. That's for going to lunch with like my wife and stuff, but I just didn't like the way it looked. So I'm back in my normal attire.
Hit the
Uh,
glow up.
yeah,
Got the sport coat on now.
yeah. This is how I feel comfortable.
Oh yeah.
So Alabama leading 7-0. This is LSU's first possession of the game, 10:23. Remember, the game is on CBS, so definitely go check it out. This is the watch party. You're watching with Trey Yanity, myself, Kyle Henderson, right here on Bama Insider. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and let's see what this LSU offense can do under, another quarterback.
Yeah. Quarterback play has been the biggest flaw in this team. They've had problems all over, but quarterback play has definitely been the one area that's hurt them the most. Just the opt-outs and everything else. You almost feel bad for a team like this. I know that's weird to say. You don't feel bad for LSU, but this has been a snake-bitten team, and it's caught up to them. 3-4 is best case scenario, in my opinion. The fact that they're even at this point right now is kind of a shocker.
And their defense actually played. They played better against Texas A&M.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even Ed Orgeron was like, yeah, we're ready for Alabama, just considering that they have, guys ready to play. That's another first down. That's DeMarco Hellum's on the wrap up. LSU's moving the football a little bit right now.
Yeah, they're getting out in some space, just making the right plays so far. This is an offense that still has a hair of potential and can expose you a little bit. And like you said, their defense has looked better in these last few weeks, but you just got to hope the defense tightens it up, gets some pressure on the quarterback. We haven't seen any of that so far.
Yeah, we really haven't. It's kind of TJ Finley picking Alabama apart right now. Maybe he's not picking them apart, but he's at least moving the sticks.
Yeah.
TJ Finley is a big man.
He is, yeah.
6'6", 244.
Yeah, that was an interesting transfer for them, and I think it has a lot of potential to pan out here. But we'll see. He's looked good so far. This O-line for LSU has looked great so far.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
Yeah, look at him just towering over the lineman even.
Let's see what happens right now. Alabama is trying to get something going on defense, at least, against LSU. TJ Finley, freshman, leading LSU at quarterback. Remember, the game is on CBS. You're watching the Bama Insider watch party right here on Bama Insider. Looks like LSU will take a timeout. As we kind of look at the early stats of this particular game, TJ Finley coming out 5 of 6, 48 yards. He's targeted Eric Gilbert 2 times for 25 yards. Remember, Eric Gilbert was a guy that Alabama wanted so bad. When we talk about those recruiting battles, look, I get it. LSU, or rather Alabama, is recruiting at an incredible level. But LSU in Georgia, they continue to recruit extremely well. Eric Gilbert is the guy Alabama wanted. Sage Ryan is the guy that Alabama wanted. And it kind of goes both ways. But to kind of see Eric Gilbert with 2 receptions, 25 yards, not surprised. Alabama leading 7-0 early in this game. Kind of your take right now, Trey.
Yeah, I like how this offense came out. Obviously, couldn't have done it much better. 6-play drive, I think, gets right downfield and scores. And then, the defense comes out a little bit flat. We've seen it at times this year against Auburn. The thing that I loved the most overall from that game was just how electric the defense looked in that first half, how they came out. And, they were just ready to go. They got 2 big stops early and pretty much put Auburn's offense, in a box from the get-go there. So you got to hope they tighten up the screws. Orgeron has had oodles of time to prepare for this game, and obviously knows how to beat Alabama. He had a few more tools to do it with last year, but he has the formula to beat this team. This year is going to be really tough for LSU to even hang in there. But I like the play calling so far from the LSU side of things. It's going to keep them in it in this first quarter, if nothing else. Heard a lot of projections this week, kind of people talking about how Alabama's offense has looked and how just kind of the pace has looked for Alabama in the first quarter. If you think about it, against Kentucky, I think it was 7-3 at the end of the first quarter in that one. And then Auburn last week, it was, somewhere in that area too. So we've seen these last few weeks. I'm not worried on either side of the football for this team just because of the potential that they have and, how good the play calling has been on both sides these last few weeks. So, the defenses look flat, but they'll be fine. What do you like so far from this one?
Jeff is like, what's wrong with our defense? Jeff, what's up? Thanks for watching. Clemson right now up on Virginia Tech 10-7. another game going on. Can we get another update on that Coastal Carolina game?
Yeah, so Coastal has the football, 4th down, 7 minutes to go. They have it in their own territory, so they're gonna have to punt now.
Okay.
It's that one's gonna come down to the wire. 5-point game. It's dangerous territory.
Yeah. So LSU, this is their first possession. Alabama drove down the field, put a score right on the board, and then see what the Alabama defense can do. Over the course of the last, I think it's 18 quarters, Alabama has been really good. We've continued to talk about the statistics. LSU right now trying to formulate a drive, inching into red zone territory against Alabama under freshman quarterback TJ Finley, who I think someone on the board said was trash, but let's see what he can do right here. And that's a big play by Dylan Moses.
Hometown kid right there.
Yeah.
How about that? It's this is crazy to think if LSU finds a way to punch it in here, even if they kick the field goal. It'll be the first time they've scored in Alabama in what, like 6 years? Joe Burrow couldn't even score on this team at LSU, I guess. But yeah, this is a little different. Nice play there by Moses. Just kind of seeing, I feel like if you're the defender in that situation, you see the football and if I make contact with the dude once he's touched it, there's no way he holds on to it. Nice play there.
Yep. All right, that's going to be a missed tackle right there by Jordan Battle, it looks like, and it looks like it's going to be a 3rd down for LSU. A lot of people kind of freaking out what's wrong with the defense. I mean, I think it's important. This is the first drive. I think you have to kind of settle in, and the other thing is this is LSU's Super Bowl.
This means so much more for LSU, and that's why it's kind of a trap game for Alabama, because this is still a rivalry. LSU is just as motivated to play this game as they would be in a regular season, and you can't sleep on that. But I think Alabama's taking this seriously as well. There's some games, maybe Kentucky, that you overlook a little bit. This one's personal. This means a lot. It's early to start getting too upset with the defense. It's understandable. They haven't looked great on this first drive, but it's one drive.
The stat on the screen just showed this. This is crazy. 34 possessions against Alabama without a touchdown.
Wow. That's insane.
And think about it. I think is it 4th down right now? 4th and 1 right now?
Yeah.
So that if they kick a field goal, that would be 35 possessions, which will probably be a stat never duplicated again within this entire series.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah.
35 consecutive. That's so many drives. That's games worth in this series. So, accomplishments, you're knocking on the door already here in the first quarter. I think this could be a record-breaking night for this series in a lot of ways. We could see Alabama score more points than they have in quite some time in this series tonight. Depending on how the defense plays, we could see a little bit of a back and forth here early on. So you just got to hope that they tighten it up. But, I think the one thing to emphasize is getting pressure on the quarterback. We've seen none of that so far.
You're right.
Finley's had all the time in the world and hasn't had to make too many difficult passes either in this game. There's been some checkdowns. You see a couple curl plays, maybe one fade there on the sideline. So he hasn't had to work too terribly hard so far. Get some pressure on him. I think things change.
Read that stat on the screen right there.
Nick Saban has won 96 games in a row against non-ranked opponents. How about that? That's just insane. 4 more wins gets you to the century mark. That is unbelievable.
It's just, living in Tuscaloosa, I moved here now about 5 years ago, and I never would have thought that, I'd only see this team lose like three or four times. It's like, and you should see like the pulse of the city when Alabama, when they lose. People are like
insane.
Devastated.
It's just
something you don't see. And that's just a credit to what Nick Saban's been able to do. But that statistic right there, what's up, Cam? Thank you very much. That's pretty incredible. 96 unranked opponents. And let's see what Alabama's defense can do right here as, they're facing a 4th and 1 LSU trying to figure out something.
Yeah. You talk about what it's like when this team loses. I don't know if you remember last year. I don't know what time you got out of the game, the LSU Alabama game last year, but there was just a whisper walking out of the stadium. It was the craziest thing. It doesn't unusual.
Happen. Yeah, it doesn't happen often. Hey, James, thanks for becoming a member right here on our YouTube channel. Appreciate it. And, you can hit the join button at the bottom of our videos to become a member of our YouTube videos. I appreciate it. All the support helps right here on BamaInsider. 4th and inches for LSU. Game is on CBS. Don't feel like you guys have to watch the entire game with us. You guys can kind of jump back and forth. Alabama with the big stuff.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
That is massive.
Who was that came off the edge? Was that Christian Harris?
There's a lot of bodies in there. It looks like
maybe was that Phil
Mathis?
He's also from Louisiana.
Yeah.
He's also from Louisiana.
Maybe
it was whoever came off the edge right there. No, that was Christian Harris.
Yeah, it almost looks like Christian Harris. That didn't cut to him at all there. I think they might have even been confused. So many guys getting in there.
Wow.
Just really good execution.
And that's, another hats off to the defense.
Yeah, oh, definitely. So, a few different guys here, even on this play. You look at Phil Mathis and Will Anderson just jamming up the middle there. And Chris Allen coming in, tying him up, just no options. That's a big stop. That's such a big momentum kick for this defense early in the game.
Definitely.
People were a little skeptical, a little upset with the defense in that first drive. I think they made up for it there. We're going to see a lot of that tonight.
All right. Let's see what Alabama can do now on their second possession. Wow. That's to Jaleel Billingsley, a guy that we continue to see really starting to peak at the right level.
Oh, yeah.
At the right time. I've been a fan of him for a long time, and he's turned into quite the target for Mac Jones.
He has. If there's one positive to take away from the Jalen Waddle injury, it's been getting to see guys like Billingsley and other guys get opportunities and make the most out of it.
And the thing I like about Billingsley is he's kind of that hybrid guy. So he's that tight end that you see other teams have that can, you can split out wide. I mean, that route that he ran right there was exceptional, kind of cut inside, got to the outside. And here's, my goodness.
Najee Harris busting it open, getting down the sideline. That's big.
Wow. That looked like a late hit on Najee.
It looks like he might have taken out. Oh, man. Is that maybe an assistant coach or?
Well,
something.
And that wasn't Najee's fault. I mean, he was hit late. Yeah,
he was pushed into the sideline. They didn't call it,
and this poor older man looked like he got hit very hard. Oh my goodness!
Wow, it looked like he was sitting down too. That's flag is on the field for this one.
Yikes!
That's just.
Oh, he's back up. He's a football coach.
Yeah, he
might need a little bit of ice on the noggin.
Yeah,
but man,
get him the salts. This is just so unfortunate.
Look, this guy's tough as nails.
I know. Look at him. He's not even phased. LSU hat on.
Yeah. Okay, good. Man. Gramps is good to go.
He's good. The personal foul on LSU.
Yeah, but see, look, they hit Najee late, and this poor man was trying to get out of his way. It looks like he took a little face plant.
Okay. Yeah, it looked worse in real time.
Yeah, it did look worse, but it looks like he was able to at least brace.
Yeah, he was able to slow it down, if nothing else.
All right.
Good. Oh, love the play call here.
Devontae, also from the state of Louisiana, gets a first down.
Baton Rouge native as well, right?
No, he's from Amite.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I might be pronouncing it wrong, but he's from Louisiana as well. A lot of guys, Slade Bolden, also from Louisiana. He's the Gatorade Player of the Year out there at some point.
There's a ton.
Yeah, there is a ton. Ismail Sobcher, who entered the transfer portal. We don't know where he's going, but he's from Louisiana.
Is Will Anderson?
No, Will Anderson's from Georgia.
Stab in the dark.
And then, but you got Chris Allen, Dylan Moses, Christian Harris, Phil Mathis, Slade Bolden, all those, Devontae Smith, all those guys from Joseph Bolivas. He's from Louisiana.
And that's what makes this rivalry so personal. The crossover.
Najee Harris.
Oh man, trying to get.
That's aggravating.
Would that be number 18 if he punches it in? I guess he got 17 on the last one there.
Hey Randall, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Alabama right now. Game's on CBS, so this is just a watch party, celebration of college football.
Yeah.
Here with Trey Yanity. Appreciate it.
A little update on the Coastal Carolina BYU game. Coastal still leading 22-17. They have the football. 2nd and 6.
Nice.
There's right around the 52 minutes and 38 seconds to go. This game is winding down.
Najee Harris is going to get. He's in, right?
I feel like that has to be a touchdown.
Looks like he lost momentum like on the 1-inch line.
Yeah.
Looks like LSU has a football.
I believe they're gonna
why is it always something always happens when he's like on the
right at the goal line.
Looks like LSU, someone's down for them. Number 90.
A lot going on here.
Yeah, there is a lot.
This is crazy. Clemson still up on Virginia Tech 10-7. VT though has the football at the 50. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. A lot of good football on today.
And Tobias in with the super chat. We appreciate it.
Oh, that's a touchdown.
Fresno up in the house. We got a nice little following from Fresno, California today.
Yeah, I love it. West Coast repping.
Yeah, every year there's kind of a different city that kind of jumps on the map.
Yeah.
I think it was when Tua was rolling. Man, you should have seen. We were living in Hawaiian glory. I'm serious. I never had so many Hawaiian friends in my life. And what was cool about it, and thank you so much, Tobias. And we're taking a commercial break. Looks like they're trying to figure out what happened on that particular play.
Yeah.
Alabama, like third. It says on the stat system we have, it says 3rd and 0 from the LSU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he scored it. Yeah, that's a touchdown.
So if Nigel Harris scores, I believe that'll be his 19th touchdown. We'll have to dig into the stats. I can do that right now. I'm a stat freak. But when we used to have, I'm sidetracked here.
Oh, you're all good.
Najee Harris that was his 18th touchdown, the first one, and then that would be his 19th if he scored right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that's just insane.
Jacob G's like, LSU gonna die. The Alabama fans hate LSU.
Oh yeah, I mean, how could you know? This is a rivalry where you really don't like the other fans. It's at Auburn. I think it's out of love. This rivalry, I think it's out of hate.
Yeah, definitely. This one in Tennessee. And the thing with Alabama fans, they hate the color orange.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. It's tough to look at. No, I like a good orange. It's maybe like a burnt orange. I don't know. Not for the sports team though. Add Clemson to the mix now too.
All right. Yeah, that's another one too. So
looks like Coastal Carolina has punted the football away. BYU is going to have a minute to go the length of the field to win the game. Season on the line.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was a good game. I get it. It was entertaining, but. Let's see. Najee Harris.
I think that's a touchdown. Yeah, there's no way you can.
The nose crossed the plane.
Yeah, with full two-hand possession. Yeah. You know, that's I think this one is going to be a touchdown.
Which would be his 19th touchdown of the season, which is just amazing. I mean, the kid is scoring so many touchdowns. I mean, he's scoring double digits, and it looks like, you know, our friends that are a little ahead of us on the feed are already saying touchdown.
There we go.
So we believe him. I mean, when Jarvis and Mike are posting, I mean, those guys know what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be Alabama up 14-0. We'll wait for the official word so I can read out the scoring drive. But Alabama now with a 2-touchdown lead. You know, well, I doubt they overturn that, right?
Yeah, I think it might have been ruled a fumble on the field from what I got out of the comments. We don't have audio here on our end, so we can't hear the commentary. But I think they might have ruled that a fumble. But, you know, there's just no way that.
Hey, there's Butch Jones.
Yeah, there we go. we have Butch Jones on the sideline, if nothing else. We don't know everybody out tonight, but Jones is present.
Look, Saban's out there, fired up. He didn't look too happy, actually.
No.
Ed Orgeron. Up to tricks. Someone said today before Alabama went to the game that their power in their hotel was cut for like 2 hours.
Really? Yeah, at the Alabama hotel, man.
Yeah. So before they were like loading up on the bus and stuff, the lights were just completely cut.
Oh my goodness.
And they were like, you know, think about, you know, the elevators and everything. They're trying to like get down. I don't know like how they figured out all the logistics, but they obviously got to the stadium. But
this is full on warfare. Every aspect.
How is that not a touchdown? I get it. It's not the best vantage point, but I can see the end zone line and the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
see, that's what Najee's saying right there too.
It's conclusive. I mean, you know, there's multiple seconds, so many different frames of two hands football.
Let's see. We're trying to read lips here because we don't have the audio. Touchdown. There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Always good to see the coaches start to come up, start to give the pats on the back. That's
all right. So our friends called it, and Alabama now up 13-0, waiting the PAT from Will Riker, but that is Nigel Harris' 19th touchdown of the season.
Unreal.
Pretty incredible what he's been able to do. 5-play scoring drive, 85 yards, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Najee Harris from 1 yard out. Alabama now leading 14-0 with another successful Will Riker PAT. And just like that, the Crimson Tide up 14 points, halfway to covering that gigantic spread of 28.5 points. Trey, that was another solid job for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Mac Jones now 5 for 5, 76 yards in the air, 227 passer rating. And Najee Harris doing it just the same. He's ran it 7 times for 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a 28-yarder. And then, you know, you get into the receiving core as well. We've seen Devontae Smith with 3 catches already. Billingsley getting involved on that drive.
Wow.
John Mechie with the big play in the first drive. So everybody's eating so far. This Alabama offense is rolling 14-0. Crimson Tide.
All right. We'll be right back, fam. Appreciate it. And I think before we go, I think this happened the last time. We were just about to take a break, and then Brent hit us with a super chat.
Oh, man.
Hey, man, thank you so much. We
Appreciate it.
appreciate the super chat. Alabama continues to roll. We'll be right back right here on BamaInsider.com.
Oh my. Oh
Fill
my.
them in. We were just watching. Sorry, fam. We just saw that Alabama has the football back. We had to tune into that Coastal Carolina game, Trey.
This is good football, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys have it, tuned in some form or fashion, but Coastal Carolina, BYU, 5-point game, 3 seconds to go. BYU has on the 18, pass over the middle. It's caught at the 2-yard line, and the Coastal defenders find a way to make a brick wall, hold them up there. Coastal Carolina, 10-0.
Wow.
This is unbelievable. They
Unbelievable.
knocked down the Cougars.
Just stopped him right at the, what was that, like the 2-yard line?
It was like the 2 or the 1. It was right at the edge of the goal line. Clutch play on all sides. Wow. That's unbelievable. That's great football right there.
Down goes BYU. Unbelievable. Coastal Carolina, hey, they said they wanted to play BYU. BYU was looking for a competition of a higher level. They got it. They lose to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina now 10-0 on the season. Pretty incredible. 4th-1 for the Alabama Crimson Tides. The first quarter looks like they're going to go for it.
Oh, wow.
Nick Saban, he's sending a message right here.
Riverboat Nick.
And
beautiful play call.
Steve Sarkisian, you're a genius.
Man.
Billingsley, you're amazing.
That's
what a play call.
Beautifully designed play. Wow.
And that's the thing with Billingsley. And as we were talking about earlier, I mean, we're all sad because of Jalen Waddle. He's not here. Playing with the team because of his ankle injury, but it's allowed for some other guys to step up. One certainly being Jaleel Billingsley. He's a guy who I think is very versatile. We've talked about it again and again. Devontae Smith out there stock blocking wonderfully as he always does. And, this team continue to roll. And it looks like our friends are a little bit ahead of us. And
yeah, I like this update.
Excited in 3, 2, 1. Mac Jones back to pass all day long.
Over the
finds wide open.
What? What could have happened? Because he was guarded past the line of scrimmage. I don't know. We'll have to see the replay here, but he was so wide open.
Alabama 21, LSU 0, 5-play, 47-yard scoring drive, capped off by a 24-yard touchdown from Mac Jones to Jaleel Billingsley. This is what happened. LSU. They're so bad.
Oh, you see John Mechie. I think that's where they got him.
Wow. He was completely alone. Spins it in the end.
Nice spin too.
Yeah, that was legit. I like that. 21-0, fam.
First quarter.
My goodness. Are we going to see Bryce Young in the first quarter?
I'd love to see it. This is where, this could be the kind
of games, man. We're back in it with our good friend
Tobias.
Fresno area. Thank you so much.
Sir.
I think kind of before we go to another break, the key play of this was the 4th-1, and it was the play call to Billingsley to the outside. It was a play action, faked it to Nigel Harris, went outside to Billingsley. Billingsley got the first down, and then the next play came back to Billingsley for a touchdown. I mean, I love it. I love the creativity. Sarkisian doing, a fantastic job. So I love Billingsley in the mix.
It's great. Florida's sitting down there in Gainesville saying, hey, we got this guy Kyle Pitts. Well, Alabama's saying we got this guy Jaleel Billingsley now. So athletic, such a great route runner too there. Blocking abilities could still come along. Want to see him get a little bit more physical, but he's such a great flex tight end. So athletic, great hands. Good to see him get in the end zone for the second time this year.
Read out some of those stats, Trey.
Yeah, let's hit it over to stat broadcaster Nigel Harris now. 9 rushes, 73 yards, still 2 TDs. Mac Jones, still perfect, 8 for 8. He has crossed the 100-yard mark. He's at 109 now. 1 TD in the air. That one coming there to Billingsley. He has a touchdown himself, 65 receiving yards on 3 catches. Devontae Smith, also 3 catches, 25 yards in the air. John Mechie with the 1 for 24. Nigel Harris has 1 catch. It went for -5 yards. We won't talk about that. And, if you look at the LSU side of things, start talking stats for TJ Finley. He's now 5 for 8, 48 yards. Looked good in that first drive, but hasn't shown much, life since then. And the rest of the offense has been pretty mediocre as well. And that's the story of this one. Let's look at maybe some kind of team comparison, game comparison stats here. 3rd down wise, Alabama's only had to face one of them. They went 0 for 1. But they've had 10 first downs in this game so far. No penalties for the Crimson Tide yet. That's been big. LSU has had 3 already in this game, and personal foul that set up the second TD. So Alabama is winning every single facet of this game so far. This is what we expected. This is what we're getting. 21-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, you look at the fact that Alabama has just already kind of, been adding on. I mean, think about this stat. I mean, Alabama has 182 yards of offense in the first quarter. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, kind of when you add it up, I mean, you talk about, stacking it on. I mean, if we're playing, the PS4, I've been playing actually some 2014 NCAA football.
Oh, you made the switch from Madden.
Yeah. I've been playing NCAA football. I have a nice little season going on, little dynasty with Rutgers.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of color combinations.
Rutgers.
Yeah, with Rutgers. And, if you're on the sticks, 21, you know what the rule is. You got to give it up.
Oh, yeah. It's
so,
skunked.
I mean, LSU's got to give up. Look at these guys. This is a calamity of errors. LSU is not in a good spot mentally, physically, and right now they're getting drubbed by Crimson Tide at 21-0. I mean, the line 20.5. I mean, Alabama might have this by the end of the quarter.
I think this one's already over. Hate to be that guy. But the skunking. It's 21-0.
Yeah, and stick around after because we'll have the post-game show. Then we'll also have Nick Saban's press conference, and then we'll also have Ed Orgeron's press conference, and get to hear what those guys have to say after this drubbing. Ooh. So this is bad.
It's going to be a short one.
Man, Malachi Moore. Did you see how he went for the strip?
Yeah, he was getting aggressive there. Just so quick getting back to the play, too. It looked like for a second he might have been able to punch it out. But nice tackle either way.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, BYU lost. It was an amazing ending. It was a great game.
It was such a good game. Yeah, that's what they wanted to. I think this opens up a whole new realm of college football because power, group of 5 schools have been getting more credibility as time goes on. But games like this, really good ranked power group of 5 teams, playing each other and going down to the wire like that, it's great for the sport. Hopefully this continues. And a game that, they didn't even know they'd be playing until Thursday afternoon is when that one was scheduled. So great game for both teams. Just the exposure for Coastal Carolina, for BYU. Coastal Carolina had game day at their campus today. This was an FCS school just 3 seasons ago. So, just a great day all the way around. Good to see Coastal Carolina get the win there.
TJ Finley going deep up top. He's not going to get it.
No.
Looked like he could have probably thrown the football, 80 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain said, no. Cam saying Coastal Carolina's center is 5'9", 290 pounds. That sounds like if you got a good buddy, who's got some weight on him, and this guy's a center. No, BYU, I'm glad to see they lost, honestly. I'm glad they're kind of out of the picture. So that one last team for us to kind of talk about. Ohio State laid it on thick. Patrick Surtain, those could have been pass interference in my opinion. But the ball was overthrown, so gotta put that in. Let's see.
Does this open up now the conversation that we take some controversy away with BYU leaving now, but does it open the door? Should Coastal Carolina have, a look at the playoff?
No, I don't think so. I think that Coastal Carolina, it's going to be a great season for them, but I don't think you can put a team like that in the mix. I think you can, stack the top 6 teams right now. Alabama, Notre Dame won today. Clemson, they're in a dogfight with the Hokies, I guess, right?
Yeah, they're I think up a touchdown now.
Ohio State laid it on thick. And did you see that the Big Ten is going to change the rules to allow
it's the conference as a whole this year has been such a joke with the way they've handled things. There's no set way to do anything in the Big Ten right now. It's frustrating. I feel so bad for the athletes because it's like you had your season canceled and then brought back, and now certain teams are playing this amount and you're only allowed to do this or that, and you can't make the conference title game, but now you can. It's such a mess. But
think about it. This is on the Big Ten. They're just like, they didn't have Christian Harris getting to Finley, just smashing him.
the arms up. I think that's the general.
It was on the Big Ten. They didn't have to prolong. They could have just waited like the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. It's on them. And if they couldn't, and they have to abide by the rules that they set into place. I can't believe they can just restructure the rules so one of their teams can get in, because the reason they're doing that, because they get a cut of Ohio State getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. It's money at the end of the day. And it's so frustrating because you see guys like Greg Sankey setting such a great example, and getting his due credit, but the NCAA never stepping in and saying, look, Big Ten, this is how we're going to do things. You guys need to really figure out what you want to do, how you're going to execute it, because the SEC, the ACC, even the Big 12 to an extent, they all have it together. They know what they're doing, and it's proven to be the successful method this year.
All right, let's see, Alabama up 21-0. LSU looks like they got another first down, trying to get across, or the second time getting across the 50-yard mark against Crimson Tide. And we will go to the second quarter. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on Bama Insider with Kyle Henderson and Trey Yanity. Be right back on Bama Insider. All right, friends, what's going on? Back with you, Kyle Henderson, Trey Yanity. LSU gets on the board, Start off the second quarter with a long touchdown strike from TJ Finley to who was that scored that? Was that Keishawn Butte? Yeah. So
that was, yep.
I mean, it was a long touchdown. They haven't even put it on the stat system, but it was a nine play, 95-yard scoring drive that lasted 2 minutes and 34 seconds. LSU back on the board. First touchdown that they've scored in 36 possessions against Alabama.
Yeah, it's just a crazy
number. Oh my goodness, did he not cross the finish? Look where he dropped the ball.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Oh my god,
I don't. The ball didn't cross the plane. The ball never crossed the plane. We've seen this before.
Wait. How are they not going to?
You got to challenge that.
What?
Wow. What?
How did they not see that? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. How did they miss that, fam?
Like, I don't.
He didn't score.
Did not score.
He did not score. Like, he scored, yes. That was bad coverage. That was a great throw. That was a great run. He did not score a touchdown. Look at this.
The ref's right there. Look. Like, what is he watching? What's the like? That's not even close. That's not even close. That's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. That was so.
And they're just not even going to review that.
What garbage.
Man, that's crazy.
That is so sad that they scored a touchdown like that. Look at the ball.
Like,
oh my god, that's terrible.
Boudier, you got one, man.
Oh yeah,
Boudier. Well, but busted coverage there. That's pretty ridiculous what happened at the goal line. But
that was crazy.
Alabama would have gotten away with a pretty fortunate play there if they had reviewed it. And
Perry's saying that the booth reviewed it and they said it was a touchdown.
Really? There's just no way. Just no way. I guess Alabama didn't pick it up. Good point, Sam. Alabama never got on it.
Oh man.
But
that was he dropped the ball a yard from the actual end zone.
Like, you see it hit full on green grass and then roll it. Like, wow.
Oh, whatever. I mean, it was a good play. Right. I mean, they beat Alabama in coverage. Whatever.
Yeah, it was definitely some miscommunication for Alabama. Just got kind of crossed up there. But yeah, if they make that call, then Alabama still does get the ball. Like, that's just terrible officiating. That's I've never seen anything like that. Man.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Wow.
All right, here comes Alabama back with another possession. Got B-Rob running for a solid, what was that, 6, something like that?
Yeah, 6-7 there.
Yeah.
Busting it out a little bit. We got a lot of Daniel Wright hate in the comments.
Was that on D Wright? Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it.
It was, yeah. They're
Daniel Wright, I mean, his pro football focus grade. Look, I don't know the kid personally. I'm just speaking like factual information. His pro football focus grade against Auburn was 32 out of 100.
Yeah.
So
he struggled. There's no doubt he struggled. People use the word liability. I don't know if I'd go that far necessarily. But he has been very poor. He has not been playing at the standard the rest of the defense has, come along to this season. This defense has made such great strides. He hasn't.
All right. Looks like our friends are a little ahead of us, so we'll get kind of dialed in.
Man, this is
how many Alabama is going to score tonight?
It's going to be deep.
I said 52.
I think you had what 56 to
something like that.
3.
I think I said 52-6.
52-6. Okay.
So here we go. Let's see this beautiful ball by Mac Jones. Wow, look at that spiral.
Oh, Devontae getting his long TD right on time.
This is so ridiculous.
It's just insane. it is so fun to watch.
Look at Mac Jones. These guys are just playing the guitar. I love the guitar that they play.
Know. It's so sick. And
this isn't 3 plays, 75 yards, 1 minute, 17 seconds. These guys are out here playing. It's practice. Someone said on the comments, it's practice.
Look at him just using his body to get space.
Oh
and
this is so stupid.
Seeing it in. So technically sound in every part of his game. The route running, the way that he just creates separation.
The Slim Reaper. That's what Alabama calls it.
Yeah, the Slim Reaper
Slim Reaper.
Can't touch him.
Look at these stats by Mac Jones. 9 for 9, 174, 2 touchdowns. I mean, do you want his Heisman Trophy, like his address for the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah,
Should we send it like an hour later? Nigel Harris, 9 rushes, 73 yards. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 90 yards, and a touchdown. He's been targeted 4 times. On the defensive side of the ball, leading tacklers Josh Joe, William Anderson each have 4 apiece. The Crimson side, get this, in just 2 quarters of play so far with plenty of time left, 257 yards of offensive production, 28 points there. I mean, LSU got on the board. Yes, congratulations. That was like their whole thing. Did you see how pumped up they were?
Yeah, they were hyped. They were excited.
I get it. This has been a long time.
These
guys weren't even in college the last time that this happened. So.
Yeah, it's only a 3 touchdown game. You never want to get too overly zealous here early in the game, but it's going to be really, really hard for LSU to even hang around. You got to hope that Alabama punches it in a couple more times, makes it just completely out of hand, and then you can run out Bryce, you can run out whoever for most of the second half. I think that would be a good opportunity for those kids to get playing time today. And, the one thing we've talked about is the underlying, the main goal today, get a win, but make sure everybody stays healthy. You can't have any injuries today against an LSU team that is just egregious this year. They're terrible.
All right. Randall's like, anyone worried about Coach O's halftime adjustments?
Oh, man.
Me neither.
You remember that game last year? Alabama was down, 21 or 24 at the half. It was a huge deficit that they were looking up against. Only lost the game by 5 points. So, if they make adjustments like they did last year and Alabama comes out even better in the second half, this one could end up being 60 or 70 points.
All right, fam. We'll be right back right here on Bama Insider. Alabama will update the scoreboard. Alabama up. There's a lot of points.
I like that. The Metallica Alabama. I'm going to put the asterisk up next to the LSU team. There we go.
28-7 is the score. We'll be right back here on Bama. All right, fam, what's going on? We're back. LSU was putting some points on the board in the second quarter. That was a long touchdown run. It was a 54-yard run by John Emery, and LSU now trailing Alabama by 2 touchdowns. 3 plays, 69 yards, 56 seconds. LSU's getting on the board.
Yeah, an interesting drive there. The targeting play, obviously. You guys were calling for Daniel Wright's head, so he's out now. A tough play there. It was a close one on that targeting call. I don't know if it was necessarily intentional or, if it was all the way a helmet or shoulder pad there, but I get the call. It was super close. Wright's going to be ejected for the remainder of this game. Won't have to miss any time in the Arkansas game since this is the first half. But, nice run there by Emery. Give it to him. Tip your hat. Nice blocking. It looked like on that last play, too, just something subtle I noticed. Chris Allen it looked like he was almost trying to adjust the last second, and it just delayed him by a half second. He couldn't get up fast enough, was just blocked down immediately. They ran it right at him. Massive hole, allowed the run to bust out there. But, this LSU team knows how to score a little bit. TJ Finley's looked pretty solid tonight so far. Nice run there, but now you get to see the offense come back onto the field and do their thing. So there's that at least.
Yeah, the LSU's last 2 drives, of course, have ended in touchdowns. And they've been rather quick. I mean, the time of possession on their first touchdown, 2 minutes and 33 seconds. The second touchdown, much quicker with 56 seconds. And LSU now trailing Alabama by 14 points. But we kind of look at what Alabama's been able to do. It's been pretty incredible on the offensive side from them from a time of possession standpoint. Their first touchdown, 3 minutes and 4 seconds, then 2 minutes and 2 seconds. 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and then 1 minute and 17 seconds. So I think the over-under of this game, were we in the 60s?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 66 for this game.
Yeah, I mean, so you kind of look at where the game is right now. I mean, we're going to surpass that soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, I didn't expect, this many points from LSU kind of from this first half. A lot of people are already calling for Pete Golding to be fired.
We were going to see it tonight, at some point or another.
Any touchdown, they're just like,
any score.
Fire Pete
get him out of here.
So we'll kind of, I love to go back and rewatch the games and kind of like, dig in a little bit deeper. But right now, Dwayne, what's up, Dwayne? Dwayne, how's it going, buddy? Appreciate the super chat. Things are a little bit tight this week. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. Roll Tide. Hey, Roll Tide too, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. You, Tobias, Brent, carrying us along tonight. We really appreciate the super chats. And, I'll go to BamaInsider. So we really appreciate it. Alabama right now, 28, LSU 14. We got, what's the time right now, Trey? We got 12 minutes and 32 seconds in the second quarter.
Get the scoreboard updated too. And, some good points being made in the comments right now. This LSU team only scored 7 points on Texas A&M. I don't think it's necessarily anything to get too concerned about because it's been some big plays. It hasn't been, an overall just breakdown of the defense like we've seen, maybe like we saw against Ole Miss. But things have to change. They do need to make some adjustments. They do have to tighten it up front, especially. The D-line has not been putting much pressure on the quarterback or, really stopping the run all that well. Dylan Moses there, just looking lost. We've seen that a few times this year. Just some adjustments need to be made. He might have, I don't know. Dylan Moses getting attacked on that one. Just looked a little slow. A few different things going wrong there.
I think. How about this, Trey? How much because of the time of possession for Alabama is so short that they're able to strike pretty much, within 3-4 plays. So it's the stat right there. They allowed 16 points in their last 3 games, and then allowing 14 tonight. But how much of the fact that Alabama is able to score so fast also it puts their offense right back on the opposing offense right back on the field.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
You gotta factor that into it. This defense is going to be tired just with the way that Alabama's offense works. They run quick. They haven't won time of possession in most games this year, which is surprising. But not surprising if you watch this team. If you follow Alabama, they score quick. They score often, early and often. They're going to put a lot of points on the board, but it does expose the defense to an extent, and a defense that has come a long way. Certainly, there's no denying that, but has looked shaky in this game.
Yeah, and there's just no way you're going to stop Alabama's offense. It's so potent. This screenplay right here to Nigel Harris, and it's just to kind of see the the strength that he has after first contact is really amazing. And
It's
you kind of
insane.
look at oh my goodness, you're going to be happy with this next play, fam.
This is, yeah. I'm happy, but just like we're talking about, it's too fast. Just like that,
I'm
they turn
telling
it
you,
around.
this just let's sit back, let's enjoy it, and get ready, because these statistics from your boy Mac Jones, pretty impressive.
Unreal.
Mac Jones all day to throws up another ball.
Devontae Smith, come on.
This is crazy, Trey. I mean, let me read it off real quick. 3 plays, 75 yards. What was I just saying?
It's
1 minute and 18 seconds. Mac Jones right
unreal.
now, 11 for 11, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns.
It's crazy. And if you look at that time of possession stat now, Alabama does own it at this point in the game. It's hard to score 35 points, in a quarter and 4 minutes without owning possession, but they still don't own it by that much. Only own it by a minute at this point. So, you want to see them maybe take a little longer, but there's no complaints. This offense is rolling. Mac Jones is dotting. He's still perfect. He has 243 yards. We hear a lot about Kyle Trask, Kyle. We hear about what he's doing at Florida, but there's no denying that Mac Jones is still a front runner for this trophy at the end of the season. It's going to come down to that game in Atlanta between him and Trask, but look at this. 11 for 11, 243, 3 touchdowns, and now a 35-14 lead.
And I don't even really know if they're just, trying to pad stats. I mean, it's just he's just that good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just what he's been able to do, and how he's able to connect with his guys is it's always just so impressive to me. I mean, especially this connection with Devontae Smith. You look at Devontae Smith, I mean, it's amazing.
It's unreal, the duo that has emerged this season. And it's these last few seasons we've seen the football being spread out amongst the receivers. And we've seen that this year, but there's no denying, Devontae Smith, just overall dominance throughout this season, adding on to that SEC touchdown record, 2 more tonight, just playing his tail off. Love to see it.
All right. We'll be right back as Alabama and LSU now going, just back and forth. I mean, for these last 4 possessions, I mean, there's pretty much no defense on that last, those last couple drives. So we'll update the scoreboard 35-3, 35-14.
Up and down.
We'll be right back here on BamaInsider. My goodness. All right, fam. Back here on Bama Insider. Thanks for joining us on the watch party. He's Trey Yanity. My name is Kyle Henderson, both a Bama Insider, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Watching this game with you, celebrating the college football season. Don't forget, after this particular broadcast is the post-game show right here on Bama Insider, where I'll take your calls, and we'll talk about this Alabama and LSU game. So we'll start a new stream, and that'll be after this particular watch party. Alabama currently up on LSU 35-14. Trey, I mean, some of these stats pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, this has been, typical Alabama offensively. Defensively, though, they have looked a little bit inconsistent. I think that's a good word to describe it. Thankfully, inconsistency means that there were some high points, and we saw it on that drive right there. You're forcing the fumble on third down. You see Christian Harris break through the backfield, make a nice tackle for loss. Just finding more, aggressiveness. We were talking about it before that last drive. We didn't see a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That drive, it was every single play. Putting pressure on Finley. He made a couple nice throws, and then, the pressure was just too much there on that set of downs. Forced the punt. Alabama will have a chance to tack on some more here, up 3 touchdowns already.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible to see what Alabama's offense has done. And, with 8 minutes to play before halftime, I mean, 341 yards of offense. Mac Jones is 12 of 12, 247 yards with 3 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 84 yards. Devontae Smith, already 151 yards.
Man,
and that's what I'm saying, fam. Look, I get it. Like, defensive expectations are perfection. And I'm not by any way saying that they, should have allowed a long touchdown pass or a long touchdown run. But Alabama's offense, they score so quickly. And I'll go over it again. I mean, you kind of look at the time of possession, 3 minutes for a touchdown, 2 minutes was their second drive, 2 minutes and 12 seconds, their third drive, 1 minute and 17 was their last time of possession. And then after that, it was 118.
And the amount of plays too, it's like 3 plays, 4 plays.
Yeah, it was 7 plays, 5 plays, 5 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays.
Mm.
So, the defense is going to get, be back out there. Now, look, I mean, the defense I thought played sharp against Auburn, tackled well. I'm not seeing their tackle grade in this particular game for me would be much lower at this point of the game than it was against Auburn. But I think LSU, they're also playing. This is their Super Bowl. So, they're going to see them kind of ramped up a little bit, trying to score some touchdowns against Alabama. We'll see what the Crimson Tide offense can do if they can get another long drive. This would be, I mean, an incredible scoring drive considering they're almost, in the shadow of their own end zone.
Yeah, this is what you want to see, Alabama be able to drive the field. We've seen it all year long, and the deep ball has been so key for this offense. The way they've been able to execute really with just one guy, Devontae Smith, all year long. They have found so much success there, and other guys too. And it was Jalen Waddle primarily, when he was still able to play. But you'd love to see a big drive here, continue to tack it on. It's so crazy to think we could be seeing, Alabama in the 40s at halftime. That's unreal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the overall statistical production is really mind-blowing. I mean, I think we all knew that Alabama was going to lay it on heavy. We knew they would come at some point of the game, but I mean, 35 points with 7 minutes to go. I mean, you just don't see this in college football.
It's unbelievable. And, it is somewhat of a testament to the way that college football has changed. It's college football in 2020. A lot of points are scored nowadays, but, even 42 is a little much, is a little over, I guess, what you're expecting here.
I mean, what if they score 80 points?
That's, they could, I mean, if they punch it in here, get it back, score one more time, they'll be on pace for nearly 100. So, the sky's the limit. I think they pump the brakes a little bit here.
Yeah, things will change. They're still going to retain the large lead, but I mean, what they're doing. I mean, they have 350 yards. That was a drop right there by John. Oh, actually, it looks like the guy punched it out.
Good D, yeah.
It was good D. That was good D.
Good defense.
But 350 yards is pretty unbelievable. My goodness,
that's insane. Yeah.
And Mac Jones, I mean, hasn't even thrown the football a ton. He's thrown it 13 times.
That's crazy.
That was his first incompletion.
I was going to say, I guess he was perfect up until then.
Yeah.
12 for 13 now. Virginia Tech hanging around at Clemson still. They have it 1st and 10, I believe, at their own 20-yard line, still down a touchdown.
What was the score? I'm sorry.
I think it's 17-10 still. It's it's updating kind of weird here. Let me refresh the page, make sure we got this one right.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. These ACC schools have these weird scores. Like Syracuse, like I mentioned earlier, Syracuse was beating Notre Dame 7-3 in the first quarter, and then Notre Dame pulls ahead.
That was a weird game.
Like things like that don't happen to Alabama, right?
No. Yeah,
I guess that Kentucky game was kind of weird because Kentucky held the football for like 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, possession heavy offenses in the ACC too, and we saw that against Kentucky. But
look at Smitty.
Oh man, get in space. Oh, get around the edge. He's not gonna have enough room there, but beautiful run. Gets all the way down to the 25. That's awesome.
That was a 48 yards. Smitty has
his numbers.
6 receptions.
Oh my god,
99. He has 6 receptions for 99 yards, fam.
199 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 199
and a 65-yard touchdown. And another forever TD. He's averaging 33 yards a catch. That's unbelievable.
Oh my god, it's pretty incredible. I mean, we're watching greatness.
Alabama scored, 42 points in the total of that game last year against LSU.
Yeah, let's
check that out. I'm gonna look up last year's score, see what the final was.
What's wrong with Najee?
Yeah, it looks like he might have just gotten drilled there. Guy coming in kind of low. Hope that's just the wind.
Let's see what happened. Here's Big Evan Neal. My God.
Yeah, I think they said it best on the TV broadcast there. He got hit in a spot that is not a whole lot of fun to get hit in.
12. Look at that. Look at those numbers for Najee right there. 12 rushes, 85 yards. I think he's going to be okay. He's just got hit in the
where the cup lies. Yep, QQ's on it.
Yeah, I think he's right in the family jewel, so I think he'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, looks he's gonna bounce it off. All right, no problem.
Oh man, that's brutal. That is brutal.
Yeah, they're like, you good? Yeah, let's jump around a little bit, Najee. You'll be fine. Yeah, okay, good. All right, family jewels. There you go. Kevin was on it. 35-14. Alabama's still trying to roll. I mean, Devontae Smith now with 6 receptions for 199 yards, which is just mind-blowing, right?
It's insane. All these guys so far. You see Najee there walking off the field saying, no, let me stay. Let me keep going. I'm good now. Give him a playoff.
It's I mean, the statistics are crazy. I'm a stats guy and like to see these stats. Alabama has 409 yards.
Oh my goodness.
They're on pace for 800 yards. Here's B-Rob cutting it up, gets another first down, keeping the chains moving.
And just the points. It's like it's so crazy to look at. Max up to 300.
Oh my God. 13 of 14, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wow.
Wonder what the QBR is going to turn out to be tonight.
I mean, maybe you just take him out. I mean, they'll let him play. But
I think if you make it 42-14 at the half, I don't see a problem with putting in Bryce Young to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, look, here you go. Oh, Najee with the hurdle. So now Najee has 14 rushes for 94 yards. He's almost over the century mark as well.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, 4 minutes to go.
I got some Penn State fans texting me right now. They're like, man, I hope Bama keeps running up. I want to see 100 tonight. Oh, man.
Would you here? Look, Roll Tide's with you saying, would you put Young in at halftime?
Yeah, Roll Tide. This is a cool username there too. I like that one.
Right.
This is going to be an interesting decision. We've seen them be kind of a little bit cautious with putting Young in, or not cautious is the right word necessarily, but they've waited a good amount of time, longer than I thought they would in certain games this year. So I think maybe just the entirety of the fourth quarter, maybe mid-third quarter. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see Bryce Young come out and start the second half. I think it would be the right move. If I'm at the helm here, I'm probably doing that just for player safety. And, this one's out of hand.
But the thing is, and I get where you guys are coming from, but I think a lot of it too is Nick Saban wants these guys to build up 4-quarter endurance.
Yeah,
Right.
certainly.
And I mean, these guys probably already have it at this point of the season. I know younger guys need reps, but that's another thing that a lot of people don't think about is he wants these guys to the entire offensive line, because what's going to happen when you get into a 4-quarter game? I don't know if this Alabama team will, right?
Yeah.
That was a bad ball.
Yeah, not a good throw there.
So it looks like
They might not at the end of the day. But, Randall Williams makes a good point. This LSU team has been able to score it pretty fast, so you got to keep that in mind. You want to make sure this game is well out of hand before you turn it over to backups. But I think we see it sometime in the third quarter, if not for most of the fourth.
And you got a field goal right now. This is a 30-yard field goal for Will Reichard. You guys may be a little bit ahead of us in the broadcast, so we'll wait for you guys if you guys are watching with us. But the field goal is good, and Alabama now leading 38-14. The scoring drive, 11 plays, 77 yards, 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Capped off by another successful field goal by Will Reichard, who's been a wonderful surprise this year.
9 for 9 on field goals now. He is just rocking it. It's just such a relief. It's so fun to watch field goals being made, extra points being made. It takes a lot of stress out of the game. But we got ourselves a kicker. I think we might be all right for this postseason run the rest of the year. 38-14 now. We'll get that scoreboard updated. But that changes things there too, because 42-14 looks a lot different than 38-14. I think you have to keep the gas pedal full throttle here.
All right, fam. We'll be right back here on BamaInsider as Alabama's up 38-14. We got a few minutes before halftime, right? Few minutes. I think we got like 2 or 3 minutes. So be right back here on BamaInsider. All right, fam, we're back on as Alabama has the football with 2 minutes before halftime. We'll take you to break, and then we'll take a break. And then when I get the official stats from the University of Alabama, I'll throw those stats on. I mean, the stats are mind-blowing to look at. Definitely want to check out these stats, especially at the halftime break as Alabama is approaching, believe it or not, 500 yards of offense within 2 quarters. Yeah, it's really insane to see what, we've seen from the offensive side of the ball. And I think, for the people that are critical of the defense, the Alabama offense is going to put the defense out there. Now, the long run, I don't like it. The long touchdown, we can kind of dissect that, later on.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, Alabama's, defense has, gotten I think they've forced LSU to punt. Let me check it out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 times and a turnover on down, and they scored those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. No, there's things you can say about the defense, but they've made some adjustments in the second quarter alone. I think they'll make adjustments at the half as well. And TJ Finley, like RJ is saying, this kid's going to be good.
I think so.
He's huge.
He's got an arm.
He's physical. Yeah, he's got an arm.
Jeez.
He's going to be good. This offense is going to be good in the future. So you're seeing a little bit of that, just a preview of that here tonight from LSU to an extent. But, it is on Alabama's defense a little bit in the first and second quarters here as well. I think they'll make those adjustments, though. And, I think this offense is going to keep rolling. The fun thing about this game compared to Kentucky or one of those types of schools is that, this offense is just going to keep, pounding, keep putting it on LSU. This one means a lot. There was the locker room video last year. Yeah. There was the midfield video last year. They haven't forgot about that. Even though it's 38-14, they're thinking about that. And I think we're going to see that here coming down to the end of the half. They're going to keep trying to punch it in. We might see it in the second half for a good bit as well. But yeah, it's 600 yards of offense in one half. That's unbelievable. But that's what this offense is capable of. And
so, check this out. Another stat in from ESPN. Devontae Smith has his 14th TD catch this season, tied for second most in season history at Alabama. He trails Amari Cooper, had 16. Amari Cooper had 16 touchdowns.
Jeez. That's unbelievable. He had an unbelievable year, but it seems like Devontae Smith's season has been, otherworldly, just next level.
Think about the season he's having, because he's already has 14 season touchdowns, right? He's going to blow that record out of the water.
Oh, yeah. In a shortened season, too, which is the crazy thing, in a 10-game year.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Right. And then you stack on game against Florida. He probably catch 5 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
The playoff game, national championship game. Look at Mac Jones just still.
Oh man. It almost looked like the very last second he was just kind of indecisive on whether he wanted to try it there with Najee or, go to Miller Forrestall. Or, it really just looked like he might have just kind of overthrown him there.
I think it was just a bad pass.
Yeah, I think that he just kind of missed him there. It looked like it almost, this sounds weird, but it was almost too easy of a pass. He was trying to float it right in there and put a little too much on it.
See if they can get another touchdown right before the halftime break. That would be ridiculous. That would be a support touchdown. Alabama's still passing as they would. Oh, a triple coverage.
Man.
Right, just to the outside. He wants that touchdown.
This is the offense we haven't been able to see as much. We've seen Alabama with a lot of really big deep ball plays and a lot of goal line plays. We haven't seen this 10 to 15 yard range as much this season. It's interesting to watch them work here.
Trey, I think you're going to like this next one.
Oh, man. I love looking down at the comments and seeing, 2 letters in all caps right next to each other over and over again.
All right.
And how about the kid?
Devontae Smith.
Oh, my goodness.
Just watch Devontae Smith if that's the one I'm watching.
Yeah. Looking 6. Throwing 6.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my
goodness. Whew. He can do it all. This is and blowing the double kiss to the fans.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
6 plays, 58 yards. That was crazy.
Alabama's offense is on pace to score 90 points if the extra point is good here. Unbelievable. Look at this catch. That is unreal.
Oh my
The ball
goodness.
security with one hand, bringing it down, switching hands, covering it up, falling on his back, hanging on to it. You just don't see many guys like that. Wow.
Read out those stats.
Yeah, let's get to it here. Updated stats. Mac is now 15 of 19. He has thrown for 338 yards. He has 4 touchdowns in the air. Devontae Smith now we'll go right along to his line. 7 catches, 219 yards for 3 touchdowns,
So
65
crazy.
yarders as long as 31 yards on average for Devontae Smith and 7 catches. That is just unbelievable. Video game numbers today.
Oh my goodness. That catch, Trey. I don't even know what to say.
This is 45 points and a half. This is just crazy.
Oh man.
It's personal. This one means more.
Can you read off the full stats before we go to halftime?
Yeah, let's hit Nigel Harris here. He has 17 rushes, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a 28-yarder today. Javon Billingsley, 3 catches, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. He's averaging 21 a catch. This is really, I think, my favorite stat to look at in this game so far. The averages per catch. John Mechie's averaging 17, Billingsley for 21, and Devontae Smith at 31. That is insane. Mac doing his thing, dotting all over the field, all kinds of different options, using them all. TJ Finley is 11 for 22 now. He has thrown for 137 and 1 TD. Let me get this defense up here real quick. Tackle-wise so far, Christian Harris leads from that will position with 4 total tackles, 2 on his own, 2 assisted. He does not have a sack. He has 1 tackle for loss. Josh Jobe coming up with 4 solo tackles in this game so far. He has a sack. He doesn't, excuse me. Will Anderson with a sack to his name, 3 tackles there. That's the defensive leaders so far. And, they're making adjustments like you're talking about, forcing a couple of punts in a row here and really looking a lot better.
All right. We're going to, we have some photos coming. We have some stats coming. We have everything coming your way. And of course, that we'll have the post-game press conference after as well. I'm just shocked because of what we just saw with Devontae.
That's like, how?
I don't know.
How does a human being do that? Have a night, Devontae Smith. As always, 45-14 Bama. Wow.
I think I got some stats coming. Let's see. I got some photos too. 1 second, so I can update that photo kind of there in the middle. I definitely got to put it up a smitty, right?
Yeah. And a drop, another 4th down. Does Alabama find a way to punch it in?
Hey, thanks, Bama Mike. We appreciate the super chat.
Shout out, Mike.
That was this is crazy.
Yeah, I like what Artavius is thinking. We might see Paul Tyson tonight if things get ugly enough.
Hey, seriously, I mean, you could. Kid hasn't played the entire season.
No,
I think he
not?
Deserves an opportunity. I mean,
3 punts in a row here, another 3 and out for LSU. This defense is, I don't know what got into the water there in between quarters, but they're starting to figure it out.
Wow, that was crazy.
3 seconds here. I think you take a knee, take it to the break.
Just launch it to Devontae.
Yeah, why not? 4 verticals.
Right,
man.
All right, fam. So we're gonna hit the halftime break. I mean, just enjoy it. What you're seeing is just, may never be duplicated again.
No, this is.
40. Look, this looks like the end of the game. No, this is just that we're just at halftime. 45-14, Alabama. My goodness, it's pretty incredible. I'm gonna leave up the graphic. You guys go crazy in the chat box, and I'll be right back with Trey Yanity right here on BamaInsider. And enjoy yourselves. This is crazy. All right, fam. We are back. Start of the third quarter of this beat down here in Baton Rouge, down on the bayou. My name's Kyle Henderson, along with Trey Yanity, Alabama. Right now, up 45-14. We're looking at those stats. We're looking at the photos. I mean, pure greatness from Devontae Smith, and it's just the third quarter. It's just starting, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, just the Twitter reaction, the reaction everywhere is so accurate of the kind of game that this kid is having. It's legendary. This is a record-setting game so far for Devontae. I think it was somebody, ESPN or somebody tweeted, they listed 3 touchdowns, this amount of yards, whatever, and 1 catch. Because he had it all there in the first half. This is a crazy night for him. You love to see it. I mean, we've seen so many of these types of nights throughout the season, throughout his career at Alabama. He has the potential to do this every single time out there, and usually does, but this night has been extra special so far. Let's see if he can duplicate it here in the second half.
And what do you even say, from Ed Orgeron at halftime? And then what do you say from Nick Saban? I mean, I think Nick Saban, you're like, look, remember what these guys said after the game. I think you still kind of keep pouring it on. And, I certainly think, I know we've kind of talked about it before. Would it be Bryce Young to come out? Would it be Mac Jones? I 100% believe it's Mac Jones. And I think Alabama certainly is done. Look at a nice quarterback sack right here. That's actually a corner blitz by Josh Jobe.
Good to see him get involved. Yeah, no, I think you keep the gas pedal on. I think you put Mac Jones back in. You keep all the starters in. I think you just keep pouring it on. There's no reason, other than the injury aspect, which is, again, the overlying thing here. But yeah, there's no reason not to just keep it on.
3rd and 12 right now for Alabama as we enter the third quarter of this game. I mean, I can't even believe it. I mean, 45 points. Let's see if Alabama is able to get to. Looks like it's going to be Alabama's going to get the football right out of the gates.
Man, this is the seams continue to unravel here. TJ Finley, you can just see the frustration on his face. You've seen it all game. But I think it's just, look what you're up against. It's got to be so difficult to play against this team because there's no room for error. If you mess up offensively, they're going to come out and score. They're going to put you in a hole. Alabama's been doing that all game. Force the punt here to start. Let's see if this offense can pick up right where they left off.
This will be Alabama's, obviously, their first possession of this second half. Returning this punt will be Slade Bolden. He fair catches it. And here comes the Crimson Tide. And drum roll, who's going to be at quarterback? Trey thinks it's going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah.
It's going to be Mac. Look at Devontae Smith.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Mac.
These guys work too hard to just go out. Look, did you see Devontae Smith's like, get out. Get out of here.
My turn.
Get out of here, Slade Bolden. Yeah, everybody's on social media. There's some good stuff out there. Usually it's pretty trashy, but there's a lot of people are tweeting. Maybe we'll wrap up, do a social media kind of recap of everything.
Yeah, no, the tweets have been awesome tonight. We've seen everybody and their brother tweeting about this and really just about Devontae Smith's performance. How could you not?
Look at Najee still doing his thing. Still driving down.
Getting downfield.
It must be just so demoralizing for LSU.
I like that Raider fan. Where the crying LSU cardboard cutouts?
Yeah, they should swap those in.
That's what I'm waiting on. Nigel Harris with 130 yards down the game after that run.
That's crazy.
And 481 total yards now in offense.
Look at Najee.
And another first down. That's Alabama's 22nd or 21st first down of the game. Up to LSU's 12. Not a bad number.
I like this photo right here. Yeah, I just got like the photos in, so I'll be adding new photos as we kind of go along. And then after this, we got the post-game call-in show where we'll talk about this incredible Alabama team. And really, if any team, what I'll be asking is, which team do you think can really challenge this team?
Yeah.
We had Jeff from Selma. He called and he was pretty fired up asking about Florida, saying that they don't have the defense to stop Alabama. And I think when you kind of look at everything, who does have the defense to stop Alabama?
There's not one team in this country right now. And, Florida, too, with the run game is a giant question mark there.
They're one-dimensional.
Yeah, they really are. They haven't been able to run the football at all. It's this season. it's too early to say this, but just looking down the barrel, I don't see a team in the country that can even hang with this team, just with the way that they score. Who's going to be able to keep up with that point total?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the offense is just so dynamic. And I mean, we've kind of, we've spoken about the defense earlier in the first half. And, sure, the defense has allowed, 2 touchdowns tonight, which is now kind of uncharacteristic of this defense we've seen in the second part of the season for Alabama. But I mean, as long as everybody continues to stay healthy for Alabama, there's nobody in the country that can stop. I mean, here's the last 6 losses since 2015 for Alabama. I mean, you look at the score right here. I mean,
Oh yeah, here we go, man. The revenge tour, part 2 today.
This is the revenge tour. Yeah,
this is
today. They're like question mark. Can I just put it in the graphic?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Clemson, the last team on that list that Alabama has not had the chance to play again since the loss. Would love the third stop on the tour to come about this season. We'll see.
And
oh man.
Yeah, they've been getting him involved.
They haven't. He put on the brakes. If he had stopped up just a second earlier, he would have had a lot of daylight. Just got him at the ankles there.
He's been such a great addition, as we talked about.
So athletic.
Alabama still leading 45-14 in the third quarter. Mike's like, this is the COVID tour.
Yeah.
Adam's like, Clemson's getting healthy. And I get that. I mean, Clemson's another team that, they've proven that they can go head to head with Alabama. They've proven time and time again that they have the quarterback to win big games. I just don't see an offense, number one, being able to outshoot Alabama, and a defense being able to stop this offense.
Yeah, and it's a good point there, Adam, because Clemson in that game against Notre Dame, or Adam's Apple, excuse me, Clemson in that game was missing some key pieces on defense. We talk about Trevor Lawrence not being a part of that game, but they really were depleted in a lot of areas. So, we'll see. I think that matchup with Notre Dame the second time around is going to be a true look at what we really have in Clemson this year.
Yeah, and just like Kim's like, I don't want to see Alabama and Clemson go to the national championship. I think, like, what Kim's saying, we've seen these teams go head to head so many times.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see them match up in Miami, because I think this would be, you think about the storylines, kind of they've gone head to head so many times over the last, 3 years. Even Clemson beating them the last time in Santa Clara, 44-16. If they were able to go down to Florida and you have Mac Jones, a healthy Trevor Lawrence, what a sight that would be.
Oh my goodness, I know. And I get it. Everybody's tired of seeing Clemson, Alabama. Everybody's tired of playing Clemson. Yes, I'm with you there, but I want one more just to get that revenge back at them. The amount of times I'm a South Carolina guy. I'm from South Carolina. I grew up a massive Clemson fan. All my friends are big Clemson people. They just love rubbing it in my face. The amount of times I've heard 44-16 over these last few years, it's preposterous. So let's get them back one more time, and then maybe we can let them go.
Mike wants to see Coastal Carolina.
Oh yeah, that would be something. South Carolina team there still.
What about Richard's saying Bama Notre Dame, and look, I get it. This is all rat poison because this game isn't even over. I'm just kind of getting at the fact that talking about Alabama's success and just how good this team is, how polished they are.
Yeah.
You look at the 2 losses that this team has from injury standpoint. Jalen Waddle, ankle, Trey Sanders with a hip. But other than that, this team has been very healthy throughout the season. I think that's a credit to Jeff Allen and his, overall team. And I think Dr. Matt Ray, David Ballou, the new strength and conditioning coaches that have come in, have really added to that. Over the last, the 5 seasons past. And this isn't all on Scott Cochran. I'm just saying, they kind of hit this streak where Alabama would lose all their inside linebackers or their outside linebackers or whatever. And you're just not, you haven't seen that, knock on wood. But this team is very healthy, playing at a very high level, and continues to showcase that this is clearly the best team in college football. I get it. Notre Dame wants to be considered for that number 1 spot. I just think there's a big discrepancy. I think there's a big difference in talent, honestly, between Alabama and Notre Dame. Look, I know I cover Alabama. I'm not saying that because if I thought Notre Dame was that good, I would be saying that they're that good. I mean, I think Clemson is a few steps behind Alabama, but I just think that I'm so confident that Clemson beats Notre Dame in the
Me
ACC
too.
championship.
I just don't think there's a way around it. Clemson is a better team than Notre Dame. Notre Dame, look at their game today, 7-3 at the end of, or down, 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. The things that Alabama would do to that Syracuse team, it wouldn't even be, safe for TV. So this Notre Dame team, they're a good team. Ian Book has made huge strides in his career. They play tough. They play physical football. Their defenses look pretty good at times this year, but I just, I don't know. I don't think there's I just don't think they have what it takes to hang with a team like Bama. They aren't going to be able to score the amount of points it takes to win that game. Maybe see if it's something like a Clemson game where Etienne gave them the football a couple times in the red zone and allowed them to score easy touchdowns. If something like that happens, maybe. But at this point, I just don't think so. Any updates on Jalen Waddle? To my knowledge, he's still confident. Still trying to come back for the potential national title game. I don't think it'd be likely for the playoff for round one there, but I think we could see him for that natty still. Have you got an update on Waddle at all?
I think it's pretty much, what everybody else knows is that he's ahead of schedule. He wants to come back. If he can come back, he'll certainly play. I don't think, if he's healthy, he's certainly going to come back to play for Alabama at whatever point in the season that is. I don't think it's going to be like, hey, you're going to go in the draft. No, if he's healthy and he can play, he'll play.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So I think it's just kind of, up to him. But I think with Alabama, and remember, they have that new science center that they can put used to. That it's a sports and science complex. So, if a player is to get hurt right now, good pressure here in the second half of Alabama's defense, then what better time to use it on a first round draft pick other than Jalen Waddle? I'm sure they're maximizing it as much as possible, and that's probably why he's ahead of schedule. But in terms of like an actual timeline, I don't think we know just yet. So maybe let's get through the month of December and see where he is. And it's kind of, this will be a big month, I think, in his recovery.
Oh, for sure. And he's such a warrior. He's going to do whatever it takes to get back on the field. And if nothing else, if he's able to get back for that game, even if you don't give him the production that you usually would, if you don't feed him like you would in a typical healthy game for Jalen Waddle, you can use him as such a good decoy because of just how deadly, how explosive he can be. Just having that piece on the field takes, the defense's mind in so many different directions. So just having him back would be huge, but I think he's going to work his tail off. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jalen Waddle in a national title game.
A lot of people talking about the Alabama defense. Well, check this out. You guys are going to like this when you talk about the Alabama defense. Since allowing those 2 touchdowns, right, that were in the second quarter, LSU has punted 5 consecutive times after those touchdowns. So, look, if you look at the overall stats, LSU has 229 yards. Look, they're going to be out there because Alabama's offense almost has 500 yards in the game just entered the third quarter. But, the defense is, they're making some plays tonight. They got, I think, their first quarterback sack just a minute ago. Let's see who they credit that to. Actually, tonight, there's 4 sacks.
Yeah.
So they've had pressure, clearly.
They have. They really flipped the switch.
Josh Jobe, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
William Anderson has a sack and a half. Byron Young has half a sack, and then also Barmore has a sack. So getting the heat on Finley, and we'll be right back after this short break right here on BamaInsider. All right, fam. What's up? Kyle Henderson, Trey Yanity. You guys just saw Slade Bolden fumble it away. Alabama leading 45-14 in the third quarter. Seems like Alabama, have they taken their foot off a little bit?
Yeah, some of it's possession. LSU got the ball to start the second half here. And, that was a little bit of just a weird freak kind of deal for Slade Bolden there. But yeah, this is kind of what we've seen all year from Alabama: score a lot of points in the first half and play well in the second half. Don't get me wrong, play well in the second half, but take the foot off a little bit. Raider fan asking, can I use my South Carolina connections to tell Dabo that we are going to need him in a few years? Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll reach out. Give his Mr. Sweeney.
But I don't think Saban is like you and I were just talking about here in our short break. And I think, even the broadcast mentioned this, and I mentioned this in one of my observation pieces right here on YouTube, that, with Saban missing that game against Auburn and watching it from home, I think he certainly realized that he's not ready to step away.
No, it's an excellent point you made earlier this week. It's just that this is the kind of guy that is a football robot. He eats, sleeps, lives, breathes football. This is his life. This is everything to him. People want to poke at him. They want to continually ask, "Oh, is this it? When are you going to hang it up? This, that, whatever." I don't even think he's really thought about it that much.
No.
I think he just wakes up every day ready to win that day. Ready to dominate, and he does most days. So, I don't really think that's crossed his mind too much.
How long did Bobby Bowden coach for? Can we do a quick little research?
Let's check that out. Let's get Joe Paterno there too. He might.
Oh yeah, I don't think he'll go that long. I think he'll, depending on what Bobby Bowden coached for. I think kind of maybe I don't see him coaching up to his upper 80s. No, I mean, he's 69 right now. I would say probably definitely another 5 to 7 years.
Maybe they'll just swipe out the batteries and he can go for another 15 years.
I mean, what do you guys think in the comment box? How long do you guys think Nick Saban will continue to coach for at the University of Alabama, or just college football in general? Yeah. I mean, T-Mac's saying 5 years at least. I'm definitely fair.
That's fair.
I would say that as well. I mean, you think about it, cognitively, he's all there.
Oh yeah,
he's the smartest guy in the room still. And, he clearly has the energy. He just had his new hip replacement last year.
Yeah.
Doing some, preventative maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Still likes to get out, up at the golf course.
Yeah. No, he's active. There's just no signs of slowing him down. And the fact
Mike is saying 10 years.
10 years. Okay. I like that.
I'll take it, man.
The fact that they haven't won 2 national titles, or, haven't won a national title in 2 seasons in a row now, I think is lit a new fire under him, even as crazy as that sounds to say. But no, I think he's in it. I think 5 is a good kind of baseline. Once we get past that, it could be a year-to-year thing even. Joe Paterno was at Penn State from 1966 to 2011. So that is 45 years at one school even. We'll see. We'll see if Nick Saban gets there. 40, I guess it's 47 overall.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to get to 45 at Alabama, but up there, greatest head coach of all time.
Yeah,
just piling it on.
Definitely, and I think, I mean, he is the GOAT.
He is. There's no denying that. You could make the argument for Tom Osborne maybe, or Joe Paterno, some of the older guys as well. Frank Howard, even some of these guys. But there's, at this point, come on, and obviously Bear Bryant. Is right there with them. And, it's kind of a Michael Jordan, LeBron situation. They coach for the same school. But I think one more title further confirms it.
Strip fumble recovery.
It's a turnover of some form. Let's see what they rule it here.
Kind of I don't know who the defender was. That looks like Chris Allen's at the bottom of that pile.
We have mixed thoughts here in the comments. We're seeing some interceptions, fumble.
So Chris Allen with the wrap up. And then the strip, they're gonna give that to him. What's the rule? I mean, okay, wrap. That's on Eric Gilbert, and he just kind of takes it away.
I think he has possession of the ball.
I would say he has more possession than Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Now, are they stopping that? When he stopped him for the tackle.
That's the only thing. We don't have the audio. We couldn't hear when the whistles came in.
Oh, they're going to the booth. What do you guys think? Sound off. We've had some interesting calls in this game.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
See, Mike's saying he had 60% of the ball. I think Yeah, I would say 60% of the ball as well. Right here.
Yeah. The one thing about this is Chris Allen has 2 hands. You see Gilbert with 1 there.
65% of the
Yeah.
ball. Which would be this would probably be the most interesting thing that has happened in this third quarter.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Right?
It's been a slow third quarter so far. Yeah.
We're dragging right now, so we need something to happen.
Yeah. These reviews are really slowing it down though. This is seen a lot of these tonight.
When there's a CBS game involved,
oh my goodness,
you're going the distance.
It's gonna be a late night. The one play really that should have been reviewed was the goal line fumble. LSU would have scored either way.
Because the guy picked it up and ran in. So,
but that one they didn't even take a look.
All right, let's see. He's looking into this tiny little camera. The guy has his little notebook to the side. He's recording everything. Finley looks nervous. Gilbert looks nervous. Nick Saban looks calm. Chris Allen looks pumped. Looks positive.
Team's happy. Yeah.
These guys are not. Gilbert's kind of stressing. What an athlete, though, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Eric Gilbert, man. I know Alabama fans, happy about this play, but they would love to have him. But then again, it's so nice to see Billingsley come up.
It is.
He's kind of that type of hybrid guy that you need.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine when Billingsley puts on some more weight and some more muscle.
Oh my goodness, I know. And just the development they can do with Billingsley.
Yeah.
This is just the first taste we're getting here.
Yes.
We've seen good tight ends come through in the past, but this is a different type of tight end. He's so much more athletic and just so much more versatile. I want to see him get a little bigger, get a little bit more physical, but he has so many tools. Yeah.
There we go. And it looks like it's going to be a strip. Alabama's ball. Thanks for the stats, by the way, Dwayne. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
There it is. 409.
There it is. Yeah.
But I was wondering, and if you guys could do this as well, I was just asking, what was the age that they walked away?
Yeah. I mean, Paterno had a different situation. He had to leave a little bit early there, but look at that. 409. That is just insane.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's a crazy number. Such a sad story there at the end for him. But when you talk about top tier coaches, it's crazy to think that Dabo Swinney is beginning to start to slip into that conversation. Young. He is.
Those guys in the mid 40s. So let's see what Alabama can do right here. After the turnover, 45-14 third quarter. It's been pretty slow in the third quarter. Mac Jones still in the game. We thought we might see a little bit of bright, but I'm telling you, Nick likes to keep these guys in to build up that 4-quarter endurance. And look,
definitely.
These guys work so hard to, play more than just 2 quarters.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, they want to play the whole game. That's the thing about the type of athlete you have on this team. There's some teams guys maybe get up, start to lose the energy a little bit. This team keeps the energy all 4 quarters. They're in it every single play. Even though it might not look like it at every play on defense, but
B-Rob
getting around the edge there.
Look at that offensive line with the push,
breaking a tackle.
Look at Millie Kior, just moving guys. Brian Robinson on the game, 3 carries, 14 yards. Nigel Harris, 20 carries, 134 yards. Devontae Smith, 231 yards.
Oh my goodness,
it's unbelievable. Like the stats.
Just came up on the TV there. Jerry Jeudy said, I want 300 tonight, Smitty. And Smitty told him, I got you, Jerry. He's getting there. He's getting close.
Yeah, he is getting there. DeMarco Hellum's leading the team in tackles with 6. Josh Jobe with 5. William Anderson with 5. And let's see what's going to go down on this play. Alabama certainly stopped going to the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how this offense kind of changes things up in the second half. We've seen some different schemes in the second half all year long, but we've definitely seen a run-heavy type offense, and that's just typical of what you're going to see in a situation like this. And situations that Alabama's in every week, you're up by so many points. You're running the football. You're speeding the game up a little bit, in a sense. But I think they're gonna go back to the air here at some point in the red zone.
All right, let's see what Bama can do. It's a nice run up the side for B-Rob, pushing it closer to the red zone.
He looks frustrated too. I don't know what it is. He looks like he wanted more there. Almost had a super big hole. Got caught up at the ankles.
All right, let's see an update on Clemson. Oh, they won 45-10.
Yeah, that's a crazy play at the end of the first half. Virginia Tech just kind of threw it up. Clemson defender goes up to catch it, bobbles it, loses it, lands right in the hands of Virginia Tech receiver at the 2-yard line, but they forced him out of bounds. He couldn't get it. Crazy stuff. Clemson rolling on there big time in the second half.
And I mean, look at the stat line for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, is he out of this Heisman race?
Oh, certainly.
12 of 22 for 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He's done. So
he's way gone.
Now it's just a 2-person race, maybe 3-person if you add Devontae Smith. I'm serious. Think about this. The last wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy was Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
Desmond Howard tweeted out tonight, Devontae Smith is for real. It's like, okay, yeah, where you been, Desmond? We've been seeing this, for the last 4 seasons. Right. But with that said, I think Desmond Howard had over 20 touchdowns when he won the Heisman. And you look at Smitty, the amount of touchdowns that he's had. I mean, it's pretty incredible. It's really incredible to see what he's done. I think you guys are going to be really happy here coming up, Trey.
Another spoiler. Oh, come on.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
And walk it in, Najee. Number 3 on the night, number 20 on the season. He's at the 2-0 mark. How about that?
Jeez. Alabama 52, LSU 14. Scoring drive, 6 plays, 34 yards, 3 minutes and 19 seconds, capped off by Nigel Harris, 11-yard touchdown run, his 20th touchdown of the season. Alabama just completely dominating. It was a rather slow third quarter, kind of Alabama kind of grinding it out. But look at this. I want you to pay attention. Look how hard he hits that hole right there. And look at Alex Leatherwood and Deontay Brown creating those gigantic lanes to run through.
Man,
I mean,
that touchdown right there is
he would have scored from 70 yards out. I mean, that's how large the hole was.
That's the thing. You kind of wish that was from the 20 or the other 15. Yeah. Give him some pad the stats a little bit there. But that touchdown now has Alabama at 52 points. That's the most points they have ever scored against LSU.
Wow. Najee Harris on the night, 21 carries, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. As Trey said, that's his 20th touchdown of the season. And Alabama now has 553 yards of offense compared to LSU's 237. Alabama has passed for 385 yards. Rushing yards total is 168. Alabama has 25 first downs in this game. Time of possession, they're actually leading this game. Time of possession, 23 minutes, 53 seconds to LSU's 17-28. Crimson Tide continues to roll 52-14. We'll be right back here on Bama Insider. All right, what's up, fam? I was doing some research real quick. With the season that, and by the way, we'll update the scoreboard. It's 52-17, right? Still in the fourth. It's a long and painful fourth quarter. But I wanted to update you guys on this kind of tracking Devontae Smith. I went back and I did some quick research about the last player that was a wide receiver to be nominated for the Heisman Trophy Award. It was actually Amari Cooper from Alabama back in 2014. That was the year that Marcus Mariota won the Heisman Award. Amari Cooper took third place. But look at his stats, and I mean Devontae Smith is having an unbelievable year, right? I mean this is ridiculous. Like we are all watching greatness, but Amari Cooper in 2014, these are stupid numbers. He caught for 124 receptions for 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns.
That's just unreal.
I think
magical season though for Amari. I mean that was
this is Devontae Smith right now, 80 receptions. This is up to date. This game, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. So 16 touchdowns total, which ties Amari Cooper touchdown wise. Now he's got to catch another touchdown to tie that record, which would be 16. But do you see what I'm saying? So let's say that best case Alabama has they're going to play Arkansas for sure. They're going to play Florida for sure in a playoff game. Okay, that's 3 games for sure. And if he's averaging 150 per game, that's another almost 500 yards.
Yeah.
Right? So you add that onto his 1,300. That's 1,700 yards, which is right there with Amari Cooper. And then let's tack on, if he has 16 touchdowns total right now, and he's going to play 3 games for sure.
Yeah.
But let's say he scores another what? There's no telling with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, he could score another 5 to 10 even,
Let's say 10. That would be 26 touchdowns. That would be 10 more than Amari Cooper scored. So all I'm saying is like when you talk Heisman, look, I think like we talked about tonight, Trevor Lawrence is out, and I would say Devontae Smith, and he's going to have to make up ground still. He's going to still have to do this, against Arkansas and against Florida, but he's up there.
He is definitely. I think his teammate Nigel Harris might even be like, "Hey, I'm still in this thing too."
Touchdowns as well.
Yeah, it's just been such an incredible season for this offense.
But I think with like Najee Harris, and not to take anything away from him, it's just like he's scored a lot of his. It'd be interesting to break down his touchdowns.
Yeah.
Outside of 15 yards. Now he does have a 42-yard touchdown. He does have a 39-yard touchdown. Those are his longest of the season. But I think what I'm getting at is a majority of his, touchdowns have come kind of, within that 15. And I mean, I guess you could spin it either way. I mean, all these guys are doing it is incredible.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, it's just been a legendary record year for this team.
And here they are pushing the pile. Yeah, but I mean, what Smitty's done is just it's been
insane.
Really incredible. But I can't believe that Amari Cooper caught for 124 receptions.
I know it. And good point by Raider fan. They didn't have to work the ball around as much back then. Definitely wasn't as pass heavy. So when they were throwing it, a lot of it was to Cooper.
Yeah,
which hurts Devontae in a sense in this argument. But still, I mean, it's Amari Cooper's season that year was insane. To think that Devontae Smith is knocking on the door now of overtaking that is just incredible.
Yeah, we'll be right back as we enter the fourth quarter. Alabama leading LSU 52-17. We'll be right back. So. All right, what's good, fam? Back here as we kind of close out the back end of this game. As you saw, Bryce Young now in the game. Alabama's freshman quarterback will get some opportunities as the Crimson Tide now lead 52-17. Trey and I are talking. We're talking rat poison right now. We're talking like playoff scenarios and kind of what could be. Let me ask you all this. All right. And that's they're doing a game recap right now. If Alabama wins out, beats Florida, okay, and Notre Dame beats Clemson again, there's your 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Who are the 3 and 4? It's Ohio State, because it looks like the Big Ten is going to change the ruling regardless if Ohio State has enough games to qualify. And then is that 4th team? Is it Texas A&M? If Clemson loses twice?
If Clemson loses, they're out. There's no way you put a 2-loss team in.
So then you go Texas A&M.
And, you probably have to go Texas A&M. The only thing is if this is a really weird scenario, there's 2 options, I think, other than Texas A&M. One would be you take your group of 5, you take Cincinnati, assuming Cincinnati wins out. They beat Tulane twice. You take Cincinnati over A&M. That could happen. I don't think it would. They just, revenue-wise, everything else, they're never going to take a group of 5 over an SEC school. The other scenario, and this team has the highest percentage chance outside of a lot of schools, the highest percentage chance in their conference, University of Southern California. It's weird, but if they keep winning games, or really any school that goes undefeated in the Pac-12, I don't think they make it, but they get the next mention. They definitely get into the conversation.
Mike is saying Coastal Carolina.
I like that.
Trey would be all over that. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, the Chanticleers, it's.
Where is Coastal Carolina?
It's actually in Myrtle Beach. It's in Conway, South Carolina, a little north of Myrtle Beach.
Yeah,
so
that's your stomp. That's like your kind of.
Yeah, it's
far from home, but
it is. It's not too far away though. It's South Carolina repping. So shout out.
Did you see Landon Dickerson?
No, what did he do?
He just flopped. Somebody was up in his grill and he literally flopped. We got to get a gif of that.
Jeez, we've seen a lot of flops these last couple of days.
Matthew, if you're out there, please get us something of Landon Dickerson. And see if you can see it. I don't know if they'll put it up. Who else saw that? That was hilarious. Oh, Cody's saying Cincinnati number 4.
Yeah, I think that's definitely realistic.
So then you go Cincinnati, you go Texas A&M, you go Coastal Carolina. I guess maybe like a distant. I don't know.
It's tough. It's going to be so weird in a regular year.
The thing with this too is a lot of this is about kind of the TV ratings.
Oh, definitely.
They want to see these big time teams in these formatted games for TV ratings because that's how they make their money, right? That was almost intercepted.
Yeah. And I think the thing about it too, when we start talking matchups and seedings and everything else, it gets so weird because the committee will put teams in certain spots that they might not feel like they actually deserve in certain situations just to get a matchup that's favorable for TV or, a matchup that's just better. They don't want a rematch of a game that just happened. So you'll see, stuff move around. Like if Bama were to lose to Florida, you won't see Florida jump to number 1. Just because they don't want that matchup back-to-back weeks. So the seeding is going to get weird if Notre Dame beats Clemson again, just because, you have to bring that conversation up. Do they deserve to be the number 1 team? I still don't think they will. I think they'll put them at number 2.
I think in that scenario, I think if Alabama wins the table and Jeff, my buddy Jeff from Selma, he's like, there's no way in hell that Alabama loses to Florida. He's so certain on that. And me too. So I think Alabama runs the table. I think Clemson, this is the most realistic in my opinion. Alabama runs the table. And then you got Clemson, who is going to beat Notre Dame. All right. So then that helps. It kind of, shakes things up. And then we just have to wait to kind of see what the Big Ten, what type of rules the Big Ten bends for Ohio State. And then it's simple because those are your 4 teams, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to have, in my opinion, you would have, in that scenario, you'd have Alabama 1. Number 2 would be Clemson. Number 3 would be, it would be Ohio State. And then number 4 would be Notre Dame. Yeah. So then Alabama would take Notre Dame down to Louisiana, Sugar Bowl. And then out in Pasadena. And I honestly don't think that the Rose Bowl will take place out there just because everything that's going on in California, no fans. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, so maybe the the Rose Bowl from Arizona's football stadium. That's where
Yeah.
my poor 49ers are playing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably most likely.
So let's just say it'll be in Glendale.
Yeah.
And that'll be a great matchup between Clemson
And Ohio State, the rematch of last year's playoff.
Yeah. Which I think will be, and you kind of look at it from the TV rating standpoint. That's what the executives want. They want Notre Dame. Are you kidding me? Notre Dame, Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Rematch of a title game. Two of the most historic programs head to head at the Sugar Bowl. Yes, they 100% want that. And they want, like you said, a rematch of Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Fields.
Yeah, and no Duffs in that scenario either. You see some years where, like Oklahoma last year, that was not a team that deserved to be in the college football playoff. You look at Michigan State the one year, Washington, some of these schools, you could even argue that Notre Dame a couple years ago when Alabama played Oklahoma, they weren't deserving, or even that Oklahoma team to an extent. That team was pretty good with Kyler. But, it's just this year you have 4 teams that really, regardless of how much space is in between each of them, you have 4 teams that I think are deserving of being in the college football playoff, which is nice. That's what you want.
All right, fam. So how this is going to work, we'll probably cut this with maybe like 5 minutes, 6 minutes to go. We'll refresh. I'll get ready for SEC After the Dark, which will be the post-game call-in show. We have 10 minutes left, so we'll probably cut it with like 5 minutes. And then we'll be back to take your calls, and, we'll kind of break down this game and, talk about this high-powered offense, and probably more than likely talk about playoff scenarios, which will, which I'm sure we'll dive into, because that's kind of just the way things are going with this, with this setup. And what is Metallica has something to say. My best friend lives half hour from South Bend. He is salivating mouth to mouth for a rematch. I'm sure. I mean, look, I would never take away anything from Notre Dame. I have my own opinions, and I hope they're great. I mean, I hope they're good, because I would do anything to, at least cover a game that you could talk about for 4 quarters.
Oh yeah,
look,
definitely.
If Notre Dame is that good, then so be it. If Ohio State is that good, so be it. I just think this Alabama team, what they're doing to the SEC is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, these games aren't, let's face it. Are you guys, besides that first half, we all know what's going to happen during this game. We all knew what's going to happen against Arkansas, and there's no way to spin it. So that's why we kind of have to talk the hypotheticals and the rat poison and all that stuff. Notre Dame's a good team. They have a very slippery quarterback. He's good. My goodness, that was a big hit by Christian Harris.
Wow, yeah.
So how we'll do it is we'll restart our next stream, and it'll be the post-game call-in show, and then I'll have Trey. He'll be working on Nick Saban's press conference, so definitely check back for that. And we'll have tons of stuff coming for you right here on Bama Insider. But we'll finish out this game, and we'll be back for Alabama's next offensive possession right here on Bama Insider. quick.
Yeah.
All right, fam. This is sloppy ending, so we're gonna get set up for the post game call-in show. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be right back. We'll start the other stream very soon, so you guys can move over there to the post game call-in show. Just hit the subscribe button, and you guys will be notified as soon as we start right here on BamaInsider. But Crimson Tide up 55-17, and it looks like LSU could potentially. Maybe put one more on the board, but we'll see how it goes. And Tony's like, how many shots you have? 0. 0. I'm cool. I'm not as cool as Mick. Mick said he's a screwball guy. No.
Gotta be.
All right, cool. So we'll catch you guys on the next stream, which will be the post-game call-in show. Appreciate you guys, and we'll be right back on our post-game call-in show. See you soon.